Chipao, they are to the one. What is the one? And they are to the one. What is the one? And they are to the one that row. Mao, I to the one. They are to the one. And they are to the one. On that road. And then they don't know what. The man who almost had one baby. Someone they want to have an idea. Do they want to someone will let you know. Let's go. No power over the road. And they are to the one. 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 Hello. Adoya. Lucy. Hello. Wablo. No one go chipa. You may go there anyway. No go point nothing well. Ma to the wawo. Come on the from now. Ma to the wawo. Then what that rocket? Mamua was a Emilia. Yeah. Prima. How no? No one month at that rocket. What would you? When you know one more come loyalty. Yeah. I just say one word. No. Don't do. That run again. See up well. I don't pass it the bomb. But you let someone the man of the over. I don't say one word. 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 Ah, sister. Tina. Where money? 2.5. If my daughter, and then don't come we wear. Ah, mother. Oh, Tina, let's not do it. Do. No, I don't say one word. Ma don't say one word. Mama, I don't say one word. I know I did it. I did it. What you don't say more than man of them who that road. Shut up, Wablo. Dynamo, to Babla, which you to Babla, over Ragojo. Do not which you had in us. Over fear, I do the world. I do the world. I did. Take up back away. Follow me on your plan. I do the world. Mama, I know I did. I know I did. Mama, I know I do. I do the world. You're not right at that point. No more, no. When I would have done, I'm going to move. Now, but there's a woman, my boss, I go. I do the world. And you,
yes, ladies and gentlemen, Sound of Content Premier Platform is here back here with you again with Esoteric and Patrick and the crew. Ladies and gentlemen, please, as you join the show, make sure and share the link for us. Follow us on YouTube. We are going live as well on YouTube right now. It's going to be a fascinating show today. Don't go away. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on inside the county? We're going to tell you today. Patrick is backstage right now. Don't go away. Yeah, the question on the platform today: what is going on in SINOE County? What is happening at the port of Greenville? What is happening to the financial manager of SINOE Port? This whole wahala that's coming out in the port or at the port of Greenville, is it going to get Sonny Board Noah and the corruption web as well? Let's see what's going on out there. You know, Emmett Blayee was the financial officer on a Sonny Board Noah at the port of Greenville, right? I mean, given that corruption is taking over Liberia, we're going to be one of the issues we have to discuss today on the platform is how can we mitigate, or if you like, how can we eradicate corruption in public spaces in Liberia? Because that is crucial, right? So right now, SINOE County is in the way. Yes, another topic on the show this afternoon. We're going to be looking at Liberia on the leadership of the Americo-Liberians versus the country under the leadership of the indigenous sons and daughters. Yes, another question on the platform this afternoon that Patrick and the team I will be discussing is, I mean, the overthrow of President Tolbert or the overthrow of President Doe. Was it an act of patriotism or a treasonous offense? Yeah, top on the agenda today is the suspension of the port, the financial manager at the port of Greenville, Emmett Blayee. What did Mr. Blayee do? Is he being used as a scapegoat? Right now, I'm saying Alpha Cow is following the show. The president of USAA North Dakota chapter is following. I'm seeing Che Do, Comrade Do is following. I'm seeing O'Hara T is following the show. I'm also seeing Sako is following the show. Who am I seeing? I'm seeing the political demagogue of Liberia, Lloyd Tolbert is following the show. I'm seeing here Mondibu. How you doing? Welcome to the show. I'm seeing Clement and others. So if you are following, please comment and we'll recognize you. Also, make sure to share the show for us and follow up on YouTube. Stephen Chie, welcome to the show. Stephen, we appreciate your presence on the show as well. All of you that are following, and we can see you right now. We want to say welcome to the show. All right, guys, we got to get the ball on the way here. Yeah, we are 11 minutes into the show here. My man Patrick is punctual, so we got to get the show going. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to SINOE Content Premier Platform with Doug Sire Puda Esoteric, your host, and we are coming to you from these United States of America, specifically from the state of Maryland. That's where our head Studio 8 is located right now. All right, so without further ado, I'd like to bring on my co-panelist, Patrick Bolu, is backstage. Tobabo going to join us later, and so are the other guys. But you know, Patrick is faithful to the time, so I cannot hold him backstage too much. Let me bring the brother on here. Hey, P, how you doing, boss? Welcome to the show again.
Oh yeah, thank you, Esoteric. It's good to be back again on the content centennial. I mean, we to bring it to the people objectively, professionally. I mean, hi. So yeah, it's good to be back. A lot of taking place in the country. A lot of taking place back home in SINOE County. I mean, in other places across the country. But we are on top of everything that's happening, and we hope to inform the people accordingly so that they too can be aware of the happiness in the country. So thank you to be back again, Esoteric. I'm here.
Perfect. Also, like you, I am filled with euphoria to be here. You know, this is something we are committed to. We started years back, and people thought we're playing, but we are building an empire to liberate, to free our people, to manumit our people from the mire of poverty, and to inform them to make sure that they become critical thinkers. They think for themselves. They will not be prone to political rhetoric and maneuverance. You know, so we are happy to be here. Patrick, so far, what I want to do is to give us a little update as to what some of the topics, some of the things that are trending that you are following right now, and then I will give you an update as well. And then we'll plunge into our topics. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So I think a lot has been happening on the national scene. One of the human interest stories that took place during the course of the week was the bravery of a man, Michael Tigban, setting himself ablaze, for hunger. Yeah, he said he was too hungry. He has been hungry. He has been going with empty stomach for days, and he chose to end the whole nightmare of bearing, of starvation. So he set himself ablaze. I mean, during the course of the week, one of the things that happened in the course of the week as well too. I mean, in Greenville, there was an unexpected, rather surprising, roadblock at the entrance of the port of Greenville in demand for employment by young people, and, in the surrounding of the port. One of the issues that caught our attention. The other issue trending is the lion's share. The lion's share of the national budget that public servants, public officials will take to themselves, like the LTA. I mean, the legislature. I mean, you talk about LPRC, you talk about NOCA, you talk about, all the public, all the areas, state-owned enterprises, line ministries and agencies, legislature, the executive, the judiciary, they take lion's share of the national budget and give civil servants the bone. They take the flesh of the meat. And some of the trending issues also came up this week, in people's salaries being exposed, and so we are talking about it. Another thing is the nutmeg that resumes the road as the rain pulls down heavily, as we're in the peak of the rain season. The roads have become terribly, impassable. It becomes a nightmare again, and people have been going through a lot of emotional trauma on the roads, and you cannot venture into those. After 100 days, politicians came and glorified the president, glorified the government of doing what no government has ever done in 100 days. But sadly enough, the rules have gone from bad to worse, and and it's a situation. So a lot has taken place. Then the issue just talk about MS. Suspension is also trending on social media. The debate is there. People are pointing fingers, and we don't know exactly who's involved, what's involved. But there must be a genuine reason for which the authority may have suspended him. But I think, so far, let me just leave it to you there, because it will go on naming Liberia's problems and updating ourselves will not end anytime soon. So it's back to you, Esoteric.
Thank you, Patrick. That's I call that encyclopedia update. I want to say thank you for giving us. But on the other side of the globe, where I am, the United States, besides the politics, we had a tragedy yesterday in the state of Georgia. School just opened, and a young man, a 14-year-old young man, won a rampage and started shooting and killed. At least the last time I watched the television here, 4 persons got killed, 2 teachers and 2 students. Young man, his last name I can remember is Gray. He's 14 years old, and the authority now here they are saying they want to try him as an adult. I think that's the right thing to do. Patrick, the American people, their Second Amendment right in this country. They got to do something about it. It's getting out of control, to the point where a 14-year-old boy will go in school and kill his teacher and fellow students, or I should say teachers, because there are 2 teachers and students. It's terrible. They got to do something about it. It's getting totally out of control. And Patrick, the thing is, I don't know what the fear is about. America has if I'm not exaggerating, the best security in the world. They have all the different security layers. So I don't see why they still need citizens to carry weapons and to carry. Patrick, the people get like a catch of guns at home. It's scary in this country. The guns are more than the human beings. They got a bunch of guns all over the place, and people. If I go to the local city right here, they call Salisbury, these people carry, like they call it open carry. The gun on their side, probably citizens walking around with gun on their side, walking around in restaurants. So it's terrible. It's scary, and you have at the same time people. Drug is legal here. People smoke. I can remember one time in one of my classes, I think it was public policy 300, and we were talking about public policy, and one of the things that came out was the professor was talking about, I think that time the debate was brooding on the legalization of marijuana and those different things, right? So I was telling the professor, but what sense does it make that you legalize gun and then at the same time you legalize marijuana? So you have somebody high and then carrying gun. That's a dangerous thing, It's scary. So that's the problem with the United States right now. The gun is epidemic now. When you go out there, if you, my wife is a Christian, and so I said, baby, I need to get my shit too. Sorry for my French. I need to get my BB gun in here. I don't know what it is.
I know it makes sense.
So, I got to protect my family. It's crazy. So yeah, that's one of the major things here that I want to report about. Let's get to our agenda here, Patrick. Of course, in our community here, the USAA finally financial report is up, but we wanted to discuss it, but we want to be respectful to the authority. And so the financial team, they submitted the document to the board of directors. So the board now, the guys are analyzing, they're going through the report, and when they give the media to go ahead, for sure, we'll be here to discuss with the people. But right now, we want to respect the authority. We don't just want to bring it public when they don't give us the go ahead. I think that is professional enough. All right, so we had it on the topic yesterday, but I went and thought about it. I said, no, this is not professional to bring something to the public when the authority they don't give us the go ahead. All right, so that's something. But Patrick, let's get to SINOE County here. We want to, before we do that, Patrick, these people, they took their time to come. So I want to just give them a little shout out to recognize at least those that I'm seeing right now. That's Npa Tolbert. Thanks for following us. We want to say also welcome to the show, Pastor Mana Morris. We want to say thank you for coming. Chris Jabla, thanks for following us. The president of USAA in Minnesota chapter, Marie Pine, thanks for following us. We have here Freeman, CFR Freeman. We want to say thank you for joining us. Melvin Blayee, thanks for joining us. Ambassador John Nelson, we want to say thanks for following us. The president of the USA, Madam Francis Clark. No, not Clark. The Francis Assembly Clark now. It's not Miles anymore. I see the name has been altered, and so we don't want to go into all the other details. But we want to say, Madam President, we appreciate your presence on the show. We want to say welcome to Vera Johnson. Who here I'm saying? I'm also saying Stephen Cheer. I'm saying Clement. Saying that's Mondabu. I think I recognize some of these people before. So if you are following and we don't call your name, Otis, welcome to the show. If you're not calling your name, that means we are not seeing you from our end. All you have to do is comment, and we will recognize you. All right. Chris, thanks for following. All right, Patrick, before we bring this, because it's a top story right now, will be read by ladies and gentlemen. All right, Patrick, welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Voice of SINOE in the Diaspora with ESOTERIC and my panelist Patrick from Liberia, from the nation capital. And so the first breaking news we are getting for SINOE County right now, the financial manager of the Port of Greenville, Samuel A. Ross, Port of Greenville, Emmett Blayee, has been suspended for time indefinite, according to the correspondence in our possession, for financial improprieties. That's what is stated in the communication. So, Patrick, what I want us to do here, because we are evidential platform, we believe in evidence. We are now a propagandistic platform. So we want to just put out the communication out there to the people, and then we can analyze the context, the context of the communication, or the content, if you like. And so the people, everybody can have their say, if they want to participate, or so be it. So let me put the communication up there. Okay, that's the letter. That is, Patrick, are you seeing the communication?
Yeah, I'm seeing it. Yeah, let me see.
Okay, good. So let me see. The fonts are a little smaller here. Let me go to my device and read it from here to see what it says. So it says here, the communication, the suspension communication of Emmett Blayee, Human Resource Department, the Freeport of Monrovia, Bourgeois Island, Monrovia, Liberia, National Port Authority, gateway to Liberia's economy. Memorandum HRD, the date is 18, I don't know what the numbers are for, 18610, then 24, then it got to Emmett Blayee. Financial manager, Port of Greenville, the 083024 here, and then from Theophilus A. Woods, executive director, human resource. This is subject suspension, and the communication is dated August the 30th, 2024. It said by directive of senior management, you are hereby suspended effective immediately. I think this meant to say effective. Anyway, let me read it as is. But it say by directive of senior management, you are hereby suspended effectively immediately without pay for time indefinite, pending the outcome of a comprehensive investigation. Your suspension is predicated on the just ended audit report conducted at the Port of Harper by the internal audit department of the National Port Authority. Your actions by the audit report constitutes financial improprieties, which is a serious violation of the NPA's policy, Article 5, Section 2BV. Offenses which shall warrant suspension. Count 5, negligence of duty. You are hereby requested to avail yourself to the investigators as per their request. Regards, and then the CC, the MD, and all the other people. and all of that. So, Patrick, what did you get from the communication? I mean, let me put you first. What did you glean from this breaking news?
Well, I heard it when I heard the news. Somebody came back, so I, you know, as a what I've heard the news, and surprisingly, I said no. It came as a shock to me, and then I made some inquiries, I made some calls, and of course, it was confirmed that yes, Emmett was suspended, and but I didn't get the details then, so. Then this letter appeared on the social media. I read through the letter and then realized. I also, spoke with Emmett as a brother. I mean, and also confirmed, and the issue has been dealt with professionally, and behind the scene. But I think it comes much as a surprise because Emmett has been a very professional person. His level of work at Greenville Port, sell him to the position of finance manager. After the moment he was on died, and then I mean he has a good following, but how he got implicated as as per the other report now is what the investigation ongoing. How he got implicated, how he got indicted by an initial other report that is now probing him, as a matter of investigation, will also tell us how. But I saw something from Melvin Case here. He wrote something, that has a semblance, of what we are gathering. Like the auditors went to the county, he was in there, he was notified, and whether unintentionally or intentionally, he absconded or maybe had an emergency, so I mean it's just complex to talk about. It's just complex, so
Patrick, you're kind of hesitant. You're hesitant to say more. What's going on here?
Yeah.
Are you sympathetic to Mr. Blayee here? Are you a proponent of the man?
I'm not hesitant, but I had to be cautious and careful because what I would be seeing here, looking at my looking at my closeness, to this whole thing, what I could be seeing here, people could capitalize on it to say, oh, Patrick says, and so maybe. So I had to be very careful. So I had to be very cautious how I go about it. We're on a public platform, and once I'm here as a panelist, I must not shy away from any topic. I must contribute to a topic, but I have to also be very cautious or careful, how I delve deep into it while the investigations are ongoing, because perhaps, I could be implicated, one way or the other as well too. So from Melvin's post, I mean, the narrative is changing. First, when he came out, people started.
Patrick, while you're going out, Melvin, what role does he play? Does he work at the port?
Melvin was former staff of the port. Yeah. Okay. Former staff of the port. Yeah, former staff of the port. Yeah, former staff of the port. And so Melvin did not speak with authority though. What he wrote, but from what he wrote, my own inquiry, is confirming some of the things Melvin wrote about the audit report, how the audits were conducted, the team, how the team came on the ground. I mean, and he was nowhere to be found. And whether there was an excuse from him to the team, and the team still went ahead to get to the county, or while the team was on the way to the county he was going, all this information. I mean, the report on the investigation ongoing will bring about some light for us to know exactly what really happened. Yeah.
All right. So here's my take, Patrick. For me, I want to stick to the content of the communication. So let's do our analysis from the content of the communication. So I will look at line 2 in the communication. It says your suspension is predicated on the just ended audit report. All right. But then there is a little, maybe we're analyzing it, but line 1 says that by directive of senior management, you are hereby suspended effectively, immediately, without pay for time indefinite pending the outcome of a comprehensive investigation. All right. Then line 2 says your suspension is predicated on the just ended. Okay, but it said it is the outcome of the investigation is pending, right? Because it said yeah, it's pending, but then they say your suspension is predicated on the just ended. So they are doing it at the same time. It's ongoing at the same time. They say just ended. They finished doing the investigation already, right? Because they said just ended or the report conducted at the port of Harper. But not, my thing is, Emmett does not work at the port of Harper because Harper is in Maryland County. So how we say that an investigation that was done at the port of Harper is implicating Emmett Blayee, who works at the port of Greenville. So I was trying to figure out what is going on here. He went over there and did something shady and then came back to Greenville. Go ahead if you have any thought on that.
Yeah. So this is a controversial part of the whole communication. So yeah, we can deduce that the TP, or let's say the secretary to the controller, or no, not the controller, but the executive director, the guy who on our whole signature, the executive director, or the secretary to the executive director, instead of saying audit at the port of Greenville, maybe put off. So instead of putting Greenville, put in Harper. And, but then most people in Liberia, most secretaries, because they didn't do secretarial.
Yeah, he's freezing over there. Let's see what are you going to be reinstated.
Science, or they didn't have the right.
Yeah, he's struggling a little bit there. Yeah, so guys, that's something I detected. But Patrick is pointing out that it could be a typo, and obviously that could be a possibility. But then that would be an egregious blunder on the part of. I mean, if you are putting a communication of this magnitude out, it should be proofread. You make sure that everything is correct in it before you put it out there. But you put communication out, and Emmett does not work in Harper. They put a Harper, and you say, an audit that was conducted in Harper, for that he is suspended. Okay, so Patrick's point could be valid. So another thing I took from this communication, it has to do with. Let me bring Patrick back here. Let's see what a video will be active first. Okay, perfect. Hey, Patrick, welcome back.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, sorry, somebody tried to call me. Yeah. Okay. So it happens normally. Students will take tests, they will not proofread, the answers, and they will just submit. And people will write something, they will not proofread, they will publish, or they will send it out. So I think this secretary may not, or this clerk, the particular clerk may not have proofread the communication he wrote, and he just passed it on to his bossman, and the bossman did not proofread perhaps, or did not look over it to know that the letter was carrying Harper instead of Greenville. And but what also validates the communication is that you could see from the heading, right? Yeah, because normally letters are addressed to people. Okay, so if the communication, if the return address did not carry Emmett, of course we have had different thoughts in the bus. But for the Harper issue did not erase the validity of the communication. I think it was a typical area. Yeah.
Okay. I'll buy that. So then the next place that I want also look at, Patrick, is the next sentence. They say your actions. Let me pull the letter back up. They say your actions by the audit report constitutes financial improprieties, which is a serious violation of the NPA's policy. Okay, so first of all, the guys, they put the B word in here, financial improprieties. For Patrick, first of all, let's break it down and don't take it from me. Let's look at what the dictionary say, right? So it says financial impropriety. Basically, the word impropriety is a violation of a rule of behavior, manners, or etiquette. So while it is fitting and proper to wear a bikini top. No, I don't want to definition. They just give me context. But the first definition said the condition of being improper. Okay, he did something improper, basically, an improper demeanor. It also says that an indecent or improper act, an act of undue intimacy. All right. So basically, they say the man did something improper, indecent, and stuff of that nature. So that's what is going. Let me see. Chris Tobabo just joined us. Let me take that letter down. Hey, Tobabo, welcome aboard.
Thank you, Father. Thank you.
Okay.
Welcome, Patrick.
All right, so we are in the middle of the issue of Emmett Blayee suspension. That's what we are discussing right now. I think I will pull you guys on mute, and when it's time to talk, I will unmute you. I was getting a lot of feedback. All right, so we were talking about the suspension of Emmett Blayee, the financial manager at the port of Greenville, and the communication, the using all these big words who try to at least help our people out to break. So it's an indecent act, improper behavior, something he did, but we don't know. They didn't define the nature of that, but it went on to say their actions that plural though. So he did multiple things. So they say your actions by the other report constitutes, I don't know what he say, actions, and then he say constitutes, but you know, that's that. So constitutes financial improprieties, which is a serious violation of the NPA's policy. Article 5, they give all the law and all of the offenses which shall warrant suspension. Count 5. So another thing they say, count 5, negligence of duty. Okay. So they say the brother was being negligent. And then the last line says, you are hereby requested to unveil yourself to the investigation as per their request. Something I'm missing somewhere here. Let me see. Your suspension is predicated on the NA report. But something they say here about not being on the scene during the time. But anyway, they say negligence of duty. Basically, that's the line I want to look at. So the man basically neglected his responsibility. That's it, negligence of duty. That's what they say in communication here. Count 5, negligence of duty. So what he did amounted to basically the military people say dereliction of duty. So he apparently left a course, his station where he's supposed to be, or something of that sort. You know, so I want us to look at is there just an allegation, or those of you that know Emmett Blayee, is that something you think he could do to exhibit a dereliction of duty, to kind of play that kind of don't care attitude when it comes to the performance of the job duty? Is that something, those of you that know him, let's bring in Tribal here and see what Tribal has to say. Tribal, let me unmute you. Go ahead.
Thank you, Dad. First, the letter, I don't have a copy of it. I've not seen it because is it a letter from MPA?
Yeah.
Can you display it? Let me see. Can you zoom this one? Is it the one that has Harper put in it?
Yeah.
No. This communication, my understanding was that 2 different communications were issued to Emmett. The first communication has a lot of errors in it, and I think that's the one that has the Harper put there, and it has so many errors, and the other communication was rating, and some of the errors were corrected. So I think this version that you have is the one that has the error in it.
Right.
But one thing is that since the incident, I haven't heard the sound of any or Blayee. I haven't heard him talk, and except a lot of people are giving their own opinion on social media about it. But if we have to hold a letter in your head constant, or if we have to use it for today, considering that we don't have any other letter available yet, and then I would say that the management of NPA, this particular communication that was written to Mr. Blayee, I don't know whether it was done in good faith. I whether it was done, whether it was politically motivated. I don't know why it was so in haste. What do I mean by that? You know, I worked with the Ministry of Labor for 6 years. And so when you are conducting an investigation, you know, with your employee, you know, and the investigation has not ended, the investigation is not yet concluded. If you want to take administrative actions, you will suspend them pending the outcome of the investigation. So I don't know why they have to say time indefinite. You know, they should have been other work conducted, and we get reasons to investigate matters pertaining to NYZ, but until the climax of the investigation, you are just suspended. But I heard that you were suspended for time indefinite pending investigation. That's what a little bit confuses me with how NPA issued that letter. Another thing is that it's still an allegation, because the letter, the communication said, I don't know whether it's the HR office that prepares it. If it is the HR office that prepares it, then I think that HR needs a lot of training about labor administration. Because we who don't work with NPA, we don't know what happened. So, for example, read that letter again. Let me tell you where I have a specific issue with.
All right, you can see it. I can read it if you want. Do you want me to read it?
The issue that talk about negligence, right? The issue that talk about negligence. You know, they should have written in that letter the act committed by Emmett Blayee that constitute negligence. Is it that it came to the county to go do investigation and he was not in county, or is it that he left? If he left the county, normally staff can leave the county and go to Mora, but normally they can notify management. So is it that he left the county and he did not notify management, or management was not in the know of the absence? Is it that management notifying that, oh, we are coming to the county to conduct audit or to conduct investigation? He decided as a person to stay away. So they needed to tell, oh, what constitutes the negligence? That one, but they just say your action constitutes negligence. We don't know the action. We don't work with NPA. They who were writing a letter that the public will view tomorrow should have gave us reason to understand the other negligence. That's one. They're talking about, I think I two things to talk about in that letter. What the second thing?
Yeah. So, Gustavo, saying you have not read it, let me just read it and you guys listen. Yeah. So let me read it one more time. We read it first. You're not here, but let me read it one. I will put you on mute. All right. So it says here, National Port Authority. So I want to read all the information to tell that everything is legitimate. Human Resource Department. It says Freeport of Monrovia, Bushra Island, Monrovia, Liberia. National Port Authority. Gateway to Liberia's economy, and then it's a memorandum, HRD, the Galdo numbers. Then they address it to Emmett Blayee. They say to Emmett Blayee, okay, financial manager, Port of Greenville, all right, and they say from Theophilus A. Woods, executive director, human resource, and this is subject suspension. All right, let me add Patrick to the screen. Let's see, do it this way. All right, let me make sure that I don't take somebody out. Okay, good. So so it says, yeah, it was dated August the 30th, 2024 by Director of Senior Management. You are hereby suspended effectively, immediately, without pay for time indefinite pending the outcome of a comprehensive investigation. Okay, I pointed out to Patrick earlier, I have problem with the language because the next line, it contradicts this line. So it says here, pending the outcome of the investigation, right? Then line 2 says your suspension is predicated on the just ended. Okay, they say the investigation is pending, right? But then it says just ended. Okay, so I mean it's pending.
Yeah. So let me inject.
Yeah, go ahead, Patrick.
Okay, so I think audit reports or findings from audits, I mean, do not just conclude the whole issue of investigation. Yeah, I don't think audit reports or findings, will suspend further investigation by authorities, in case of any indicting findings on an individual or a staff. And I think that's on a basis. So the audit report, the audit was conducted. Okay, the audit was conducted in his absence. Right. The auditors came at the report as according to what we are deducing here from the word negligence of duty. All right, in the security sectors, they will say DOP, they will say DOP, the section of post. Okay, they had different words for other areas. In that, maybe in the NPA, they call it negligence of duty, NOD. All right. So so from the context and content of the communication, we can deduce that the auditors came to the port perhaps, met in absence, though it is permissible under the law that when the auditor to come and meet you, you will be notified. You will be notified officially, the way they call it notice of the auditor, all right, of audit. You'll be notified officially that yes, at certain time, auditors will be coming to you, with questions. In fact, in other cases, the auditors will write to you and send you questions, and you will reply them. They will ask you, okay, please respond to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Some people in that case, they will reply. They will reply.
Okay, Patrick, what I want to do, Tobabo did not have the opportunity to go through the letter, so I just wanted to read it in its totality, and then we can go on with the discussion. Let me just do that real quick. So, again, Tobabo, it says here by directive of senior management, you are hereby suspended effectively immediately without pay for time indefinite pending the outcome of a comprehensive investigation. Comprehensive. All right. So your suspension is predicated on the just ended audit report conducted at the Port of Harper by the Internal Audit Department of the National Port Authority. It goes on to say your actions by the audit report constitutes financial improprieties, which is a serious violation of the NPA's policy. Article 5, Section 2BV. Offenses which shall warrant suspension. Count 5, negligence of duty. You are hereby requested to avail yourself to the investigators as per their request. Regards. And then they put the CC, the MD, and all the different controller and logistics and all the different people. All right. So that's the communication. So you can have your say now. I'll unmute you.
All right. Thank you. So like I said, we need to find a way to get in touch with the management of a representative from the management of NPA. Maybe it might not be today, or like the public relations officer or the communication director. And the reason is very simple. I want to know whether the audit was just on the finance manager of the Port of Greenville, or it was an institutional audit. And if it is an institutional audit, what period did the audit cover? Blayee being a finance manager, I agree, but the Port is an institutional. I don't think,
So, but it's an internal audit, though. So is that institutional?
It's still institutional, and that is NPA SINOE.
Not the GSE audit, not the GSE audit.
You get what I'm saying? It's internal, it's still here. So, as it is now, I would consider it to be an allegation, pending the outcome of the investigation, according to management's letter. And so, I would say, according to our Liberian law, Emmett currently is presumed innocent, until it can be proven guilty, in a court of competent jurisdiction. So for now, he has been accused, he has been alleged, because the investigation is still ongoing. So he could be acquitted, in the end, because as it states now, he is not yet guilty. So it is an allegation, and Emmett is not expected now to be discussing it in the public, because you have a day to be the investigative body according to management. So I think those are places, and you have the opportunity to know what really, the letter is saying, or what the issues they were asking to address themselves to those issues. But for now, I think it's just an accusation, an allegation, because the investigation has not concluded. But there are a lot of errors in that letter.
So, Pablo, don't you think the letter has a validity? Because given that he was suspended for time indefinite.
I'm not questioning the validity of the letter to say that it's not from NPA. No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that when management sit down and make a decision, it means that they have informed about what is happening. So now you are conducting investigation. According to you are concluded the internal audit. So after the audit, what were the recommendations from the auditors? What did they observe? After what they have observed, what's the recommendations in it? Did they recommend suspension? Did they recommend follow investigation? If so, by whom? And when? So is it just going to leave? You are suspended for time definite, and after continue for like couple of 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, because we saw that happen at the LTA, at the Liberia Telecommunication Authority. There were people there who were serving tenure positions. When the president took over, he appointed people to those positions, and those people went to court. They went to Supreme Court, and Supreme Court ruled that the president was in error, and that those people should be reinstated. When the people were reinstated after a couple of days, the president came and said the people are suspended for time definite. Penny GSC report. We are going to over a year. Patriotism is enjoying our LTA, and we have not seen any investigation being conducted. So this has been another way since the government came to power that they have been getting people out of power. They subject you, they suspend you for time definite, and they tell you that pending investigation, but then the investigation cannot be conducted by them. So is it similar to this case? Is it similar to this case? Is there actually an investigation pending? If so, when will the investigation be? And when will it be concluded to establish the fact that yes, Emmett did this or Emmett did not do it to exonerate himself? It should not just be because they have the authority to suspend, they have the authority to dismiss, and they just suspend or dismiss at will. So that's my concern. I'm not saying it's not valid. It is valid because it's from National Port Authority, some are authorities of the National Port Authority, but I'm saying process leading to this. Was it only Emmett at the Port of Greenville that was audited? Was it only the finance department that was audited, or was it a target audit to say it is the finance man who won, so let's go for him? So because you cannot conduct audit on Greenville Port and come out with just one name. Emmett has not been the one running the port. So that's the point I'm trying to raise here, that.
I think your insight is scrupulous. I'm getting feedback, so I'll put you on mute. So yeah, you are on point. You are on point. So like you rightly said, we want to know the scope of the investigation, right? What time period does it cover? Is that from the new management or from the era of Sonny-Boy Noah? So we want to know all the different details. But if there is an audit, and you say, is there a targeted audit or is comprehensive audit? If it is targeted, I don't know why it would be targeted. It will be targeting one person. But I think Emmett Blayee was not the B man, or so to speak, the boss of the port. He was working on people, So there should be an audit issue. It should include everybody, right? The Sonny-Boy, whoever that were there in the interim before we had Xavier Talley now. All those people, they got to be investigated so that due diligence, so that justice will be done to everybody. But if it just go after Emmett Blayee, it is targeted, then the allegations that we are hearing on Facebook, they're politically motivated. But I don't know. Yeah, before you come in, I will let you to come in. But I don't know why the young people, they are pointing finger at the representative of District Number 1, Romeo Kuya, and all the different things. So maybe you guys are on the ground, so maybe you'll give me some insight why, they are pointing finger, at the lawmaker, for example, because I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. So, Fabo, go ahead. You want to say something? Fabo, what you do, let me bring Patrick. You spoke for a little bit. Let me bring Patrick in.
Yeah, so this is where political mongers, are getting it wrong. Yeah, inside, everything is blown out of proportion so easily. Whether it is good, it is bad, it is blown out of proportion. So now, like we are looking, like we put the whole letter into context. We are asking the hard questions. But how could this happen? Why did this happen? And why did it not happen this way or that way? But for the young politicians, their major concern, is to blow out of proportion. Now, so one who asks, what is
Patrick, I'm not calling you. It looks like your man LDC is gone.
Yeah, it looks so. Yeah. What is Romeo's link to NPA? Yeah. What power does a representative have to call one managing director somewhere and say, you know what, suspend somebody at a particular area, and whether for political reason or for social reason or for economic reasons, and so I think the fingers pointing on a queer, I think it's unwarranted, is invalid, and they just want to distract our focus or the people's focus.
Yeah, I think they're calling him.
5 years to go. So 5 years ago, you take somebody say, no, go that man over there, go take him from there because maybe he has ambition, or because he declares his intention to contest for election. I think it's just childish, on the part of these young guys who are pointing fingers at Requia. And Requia can do such thing, and he has never done it in his entire political career. He has never chased anybody out of job. So how will it be his own son Emmett?
All right, let Brent, Pablo, what say you?
Thank you. Similar, one of the reasons I asked whether this was a targeted, or the similar thing happened in the pool of Harper. Immediately the government came to power, the fellow was the port director in Harper, happened to be a sedition recall. It was reassigned to Morovia office, the people of Morovia. Now, since the mayor have been reassigned, they went there and conducted audit. And after the audit, only one thing came out again from Harper Poll, which is the very mayor who had been reassigned to the people of Morovia, who was a former port director of Harper. So while the audit in Harper targeted port director, but the audit in Greenville targeted finance manager. So while the audit in Harper also did not target finance manager, since they were targeting finance manager in SINOE, or while the audit in SINOE did not target port manager, since they targeted port manager in Harper. You get my point that?
Yes.
The former port director of Harper has also been suspended for time indefinite, pending investigation the same way, after he had been reassigned from Harper Port to by the new management. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what draw my conclusion to as well. How we need to get to know how this whole audit was conducted, and whether it was just few individuals in the two different ports say, okay, the port director that was here is a sedition, I want to get rid of him. You audit him. The finance manager that is here is a sedition, we need to get rid of him. Let audit him. Is that how it was done? Because the finance man is in the port of Harper is still there. And there have been no investigation, no suspension, no audit. The port manager, the previous port manager of Greenville, including the one who was acting port manager, including the now port manager, they are all there. They were not part of the audit, they were not part of any investigation, but the finance manager was audited. So that's question. These are questions that come to my mind from the whole NPA suspension. I think something is not right somewhere.
Yeah, I want to concur with that analysis because again, like I already pointed out, you got many employees at the port of Greenville, and you wouldn't have just the finance man we heard right now that was suspended. So is he the only one that is doing things wrong? Everybody else, they are correct, they are doing everything right. So we want to know because the man has finance. So I mean, because my understanding is when you say finance manager, you are just taking care of the record. You're not the one that physically handling the money. Is that correct? You don't hold money, right? You're just taking record of the finances of the port. All right. So what is he doing? Is he forging the documents? So what is he doing exactly? So we want to know the content, what constitutes, they're talking about negligence of duty and financial improprieties and those different things. They have to at least make it vivid to us, to make it clear why the young man was suspended for time indefinite. And then the bosses are still having fun. They are still getting paid. They are enjoying. I mean, I'm one of those persons, right? Whether you my friend or not, if you do something wrong, you must bear the consequence. Just the same way I think if I did something wrong, I should bear the consequence for that. But I think it should be transparent. It should be fair. When you are bearing a penalty for something, it should be something that you actually did. It's not because of politics and not because some guy at the top doesn't like you and they try to undermine you because you have political ambition, and then they try to disempower you by taking away your source of income. Because speculatively now I'm getting the speculation room of voice of SINOE. So the speculation room is Emmett has a political ambition, and he's getting quite famous in SINOE County, especially among the young people, with the involvement with the soccer team at the port. So a lot of people, young people like him. He's generous. So he is becoming a threat to some politicians, some guys that are in power right now. They say the guy is permeating every facet of the county, of the bigger political region in SINOE County. And he has some source of income, which is the finance manager at the port. So the best way we can disempower, make him weaker, is by taking his source away. So that way his popularity will go away, because he will not be able to help people out anymore. He will not do what he's doing that are making the young people to gravitate towards him. So there are a lot of things that we can conjecture going on. We know the district number 3 representative is quite vindictive. You yourself, you were once victimized by him. You guys are all seditionists, and you needed to have primary, and you were disenfranchised from that process. And overnight they just came and said the man won primary, even though there was no primary held. The guys supported, they scattered the process, they started violence, and that process was disrupted. So the next day they came in announcing. So there are a lot of political machinations that are going on in SINOE County, and we want to know the facts surrounding the suspension of Emmett Blayee.
Let me come in.
Yeah.
When you see people start to think, or people start to conclude that Representative S, Representative Y, Representative Z is behind MS's suspension, there's a reason for that. There's a reason behind that. And let me say this. After the general elections of we had a meeting, on the Concordat Bar Road adjacent the Calabar. There's a restaurant there at the back. When I say we are talking about the SINOE management and CDC SINOE community management, including lawmakers and lawmakers elect. So in the Dongen Wahila meeting, I call it, on the council we are in that meeting, Representative Noah was in that meeting, Representative Kuyo was in that meeting, Representative Tia was in that meeting, I was in that meeting, Alvin B. was in that meeting. The only person who was not in that meeting was Senator Augustine Tia. And that meeting was intended for us to plan our budget, our activity, to submit it, for the runoff election. In that meeting, in that gallery, Representative Romeo Kuyo he made a statement in that meeting. He made a comment that I still have at the back of my head. And that comment was, we will craft a resolution, we the lawmakers. We will craft a resolution, and we'll sign that resolution. If I add Romeo Kuyo, I will craft that resolution, and everybody will sign. And that resolution will entail that Anybody in Sano County, be a young man or whoever, that has political ambition, we'll remove you from your job. We will remove you from your job. If you are not getting a job, we'll make sure you don't get a job in Sano.
When was that meeting again?
The entire caucus except Senator Chia was not in that meeting.
When was it?
After the first round of the election.
Okay.
They were preparing to go for runoff, but then representative elections are finished, senatorial elections are finished, so all were representative elect and senator elect. Even though COD was senator elect, but then he was still representative. Honorable Samson Weah was representative elect, but then he was still, because he's an equipment lawmaker, so he was still there. The new persons were Honorable Kuyo and Honorable Noah. So Honorable Kuyo made a statement, and then the only person who responded or who said something against that statement was Representative Samson Weah. Representative Samson Weah said, "Well, Tiro, are we going to be suppressing democracy? Don't people have to? Because for me, I believe what we do up here in Capitol building is what will guarantee our re-election in our real constituency. I don't think it's about suppressing people or suppressing democracy. And Honorable Kuyo did not make that remark that he was joking. He was serious about it. And that's what they are doing now, because I saw one of our local appointees from district number 3 who I met, I think just a few days ago. I decided his name will be anonymous. I will not call his name because he's still going through a process of confirmation. And he told me, he said he went up to Senator Chia. He said, "Well, Senator Chia, even if Senator Duncan had problem with me, then why the problem you to get with me, because I supported you. But we can be confirmed." Then he said, "It's not me, it's not even Senator Duncan. It is Representative Noah from your district, the representative of the district. He said he cannot work with you." And the but representative does not confirm people. He said, "Yeah, but that's proper decision. That's the understanding we have amongst ourselves, that when one of our colleagues got problem with somebody, we all will join it and make sure that we deal with it." So it is a new culture. It's a new culture that the current caucus have brought in the leadership of the country. And where if you have political ambition, they suppress you. If you are in the country, in position, the families will transfer you from there, and so forth. But it's surprised when people start calling names of lawmakers, they might think might be beyond the suspension, of what you call it, Mr. Blayee. I will not be surprised, because they have said if you have political ambition in the country, they will do everything possible to make sure they suppress you. They have said it openly in my presence. So I cannot doubt anybody to be pointing finger at any of them to be the reason behind the other matter.
Wow. So Patrick.
Yeah.
What, LEC left?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. All right. Where did they go? It left the area, went to another area?
Yeah. They are you are doing distribution. Yeah.
Okay, but let's wrap it on the topic, and then the next, if you have a comment, let's go ahead, and then we'll look at the viewers' comments, and then we'll go to the next topic.
Yeah. So Emmett is a patriot. Yeah, very astute. And my time in SINOE working with Emmett and others. He has some strong integrity and honesty. Yeah, he may not be perfect, but sometimes people can get easily manipulated. I think the whole thing here, that's in the term improprieties. The term improprieties, is the thing I look at here. It may not be necessary that Emmett ever took what does not belong to him, or did not belong to him, or maybe he stole. No. But perhaps one way or the other he might have, he was maybe manipulated during his past stewardship, perhaps. But I will want to really wait for the outcome of the report of the investigation to know exactly what happened. But until then, I mean, Emmett Emmett still holds very strong integrity and innocence. Yeah, innocence and integrity remains that.
Patrick, while you ending your talk, Mr. Tobabo just took a shot. Not took a shot, but he said something. The man is gone, but his boss man were indicted.
Come back. Yeah, come back again.
So as I was saying, I don't know whether you heard what Tobabo said. He said they had a meeting where your boss man, Mr. Romeo Kuya, made a statement that any young man who has political ambition in SINOE County should be basically silenced. What say you to that?
No, one thing I can say here is I got the whole information. I have what happened on the political side. What is happening on the political side? I know it. Okay, but
give us superficial analysis.
No. But interestingly, it does not involve Romeo. No. Yeah.
Okay.
Politically, there's something interplay politically, but as people are portraying it, they are portraying it, Romeo. At the appropriate time, we'll begin to talk about the political aspect of the whole thing.
Yeah, Patrick, but there is there is a cliche that says that where there is smoke, there is fire.
Sure. So what I'm saying is that people are using Romeo's comment of the past to say, but Romeo will not target Emmett. No, Emmett is not under consideration for targeting, and nobody in SINOE, nobody in the political space of SINOE, especially at that district, it's a matter of target for Romeo. No. On we got to be very fair with the Omeyer, all right? When he was development superintendent and superintendent respectively, he didn't target anybody in that county, in fact. He didn't punish anybody for their view against him or whatever it is. Anybody coming to a contest against him would not be a problem. And he would not target anybody for that, for that reason. If he loses the election in 2029, graciously, he has served. If he wins again, of course the people will be happy, but not because he want to lose or he want to win. So, he will target people. But if he will target people, Emmett will not be a person to target. And no politician, no opponent will be a target for him. But as I said, I agree with Tobabo. Politics, some undertone, it has some political undertone. Politics playing in the background and all that thing like that. And maybe let's see how Emmett responds. Let's see how he responds to the investigation. If he want to be, it's like a sacrificial lamb, for example, okay, whatever it is. But I know Emmett has very strong integrity, and his innocence is very high. So I just hope to see what comes out of it.
Okay, let me climax on this too, and then we can move on. But again, Ben, the spokesperson of the elders and the ancestors of SINOE County and the people in general, I'm not against auditing people. I think corruption has affected SINOE County and the entire country for too long. And so, but when an audit is conducted, if an investigation is being conducted, it has to be comprehensive. It should not be partial. It should not go after certain people. It should come from the head and to the last janitor in the building. Everybody should be included. But if they do targeted investigation, that would not go right with some of us. You cannot leave Sonny Boy Noah, who built 10 houses in no time at the port of Greenville, and he did not tell us where he got the money from. And then you are going after Emmett Blayee, who did not build one house for himself. And so the investigation must be comprehensive. The people that were there, Sonny Boy were there for 6 years, and he must be asked questions why he did not even renovate the building for 6 years, and he left the place like that. What was he doing? What the proceeds that were coming to the county? What did he do with the money? Why did he alone were building houses and other people were not doing the same thing? So we want to, those questions must be answered. My thing is, Tobabo, is it true that Emmett privately or publicly expressed the desire to run for political office in SINOE County?
Well, officially, I don't know. You know, he has never told me that he will contest. And that everybody can hear. You know, in SINOE, when you start to do one or two things, and the people tend to see that you want to contest. At the same time, then people do start building your ambition. At the same time, people will even start giving you names. And I think these things happen to promote competition, because if you are a lawmaker of a particular constituency and your constituency feel maybe like abandoned or disconnected from you, and somebody come in the picture to make them lively, to make them happy, they start to pay homage to the person. So if that starts happening, then you start seeing the person as a threat. And, but whatever the case is, that I think I've said this time with our numbers, that our leaders, our lawmakers should focus on their district and their county if you're a senator, because that's the only thing that guarantee any of them re-election. It's not about how many young person they take from SINOE. It's not about how many persons they appointment they block. It's not about how many persons they stop, the confirmation that they stop, that will make them to get re-elected. No. They need to return to their districts now and start asking the people what they want, what they need to do, and let them start doing those things. Other than that, maybe only Senator Duncan will remain in our house 2029 because he still got another year at it.
All right. Okay, so Sarah just joined us, so probably I'll put you on mute. Sarah, welcome aboard. How you doing? Happy to have you back.
All right, thank you, Da. I'm grateful to be part of this show today. Been a while since I stopped joining this program, so I'm happy to be back.
All right, so we are just closing up on the issue of Emmett Blayee. What do you know about it?
Pertaining to the story of the suspension for time indefinite of Honorable Blayee, when it comes to the issues of audit, there are a few things that I'm aware of. Before auditor coming to your institution to conduct audit, the first thing, they will inform you ahead of time, telling you that they will be at your institution, letting you to know that you should prepare all your materials and other things. And secondly, after that, after the entire audit process, they need to give you a feedback, give you information on what are some of the things.
The baby on fire. The baby wants to know that he's around. That's good. He's a new member of the team, so I understand. Go ahead. The man wants to be. He said, I will tell the people are here. Go ahead.
Okay, so the next thing is that they have to give you a feedback, telling you what are some of the area that they formed last year and other things. So if they give you the information, the report, you need to respond to them, other thing. But I don't know also whether they have done that with Mr. Blayee.
Yes, sir. Tend to the little man a little bit. I know, girl, boy. So yeah, give me a little attention. You can come back later. I can always give you the space.
Get it, baby, titty.
Yeah, that little man gets some little titties. All right. All right. So yeah. I got. Let me just bring her down. Tobacco is backstage. Let's see what are you guys. So when Sarah comes back, we are going to piggyback on what she has to say. But I think again, like I said, we have to make sure that we do justice to everyone in the county and in the country as a whole. If somebody is an employee or people are working somewhere and you just go after one person, is not right. Okay. I mean, I'm not advocating for Emmett here. If Emmett did something wrong, obviously he must bear the consequence for what he did. But until then, we get the final report as to what actually happened. We cannot make a judgment right now. We cannot indict the man of doing something wrong. I will just go off of the content of the communication that we have so far, so good. And everything else that we say after that is just speculation. We are thinking people like the French philosopher René Descartes would say, "Cogito ergo sum." We think, therefore we exist, and so sometimes we go beyond what we have and think and do further analysis. All right, so that's the issue of Emmett Blayee. Let's see if we can go to the next thing here, Patrick. We have a long agenda, but this issue is very important, so I needed us to be comprehensive about it and get more views on it. So let me see what the commenters are saying. People are commenting about they are participating as well. So let's see what they have to say here. I see President Francisca said, "My journalist Sarah had a baby. Oh, I missed that. Okay, yeah, you missed it, my president. I didn't get it too. She and myself on the show forever. I didn't know that she had a baby." We got Isaiah say, "I'm following from Fargo, North Dakota. Thanks for following, boss." Mr. Sia said, Chia Sia said, "We are following and doing whatever to look at this matter in its totality." Okay, yeah, please guys, you do what you can for justice to be done to all. Also, Mr. Sia, one of the campaigners for the SAPO recognition, or the people denying the SAPOs, and so the guys are providing enough education to our people, and I really love that. You know, we can't marginalize certain people in the country. Garrison, following from Georgia, New Georgia Estate, Ghannasville, Morovia. Thanks for following. Vero said, "Patrick, it is not childish. You guys are Liberian. We know what you people are capable of. Liberian are reckless." All right, that's a strong comment over there. I don't know when you say Liberians are reckless. Does that include ourselves because he's a Liberian? Anyway, Stephen Haha Masaya, Sano County. And we have Nelson following closely. And I see Chaido, in my view, the suspension of Mr. Blayee is somehow politically motivated. And I do believe strongly consider this their decision. The mistake in the communication are many, and they mention NPA rules or sections, but you didn't tell us what the sanctions say. Okay. Anyway, the word indefinite is not good at all. We are praying he be called back on his job by God's grace. Okay. That's Mr. Dode. The net is so bad. That same letter was sent to Maryland to another fellow. So when the overall boss left the country, they tried to edit it and send it to Emmett. Okay. We got Massacre. Plenty of Liberians are now newsmen. Okay. We got Clement said Emmett Blayee has never been involved with any financial malpractice. This situation is just the usual hunt from the ruling establishment. Emmett Blayee has an impeccable character financially. All right, so that's it wasn't a mistake. Emmett God for them in the darkness. Okay. I mean, they got for them, they took the man from a job. Plenty Liberian, he said that again, following my daughter, the hey, how you doing? Happening. So Christian, we don't need another letter. The first one is what we will consider point of correction. And then Avocado said, "Thanks a lot, Doug, for skipping the United States Association's financial report. The National Executive Committee and Board of Directors are in control." Okay, in a minute, how beating when I pull out to you, everybody's scared. What Doug can be saying? Vera, I would like to comment. I'd like to come to make a point about what Patrick just said. If you want to come, send me your email address and I will send you the link. President Francis, she said they meant just ended audit reports, not the investigation. My understanding is. And then former president, now board member Okolo said, "How are you doing, my family? We are doing great. Thanks for following the show." Watching from Barnesville, Morovia, Liberia. Christopher Chief, thanks for following. Oti is following, and then I got monitoring for SINOE County, Liberia, and Pastor. Let's see. Kind of click on the wrong thing. Yeah, monitoring from Liberia. Then say gun issues are an existential problem. All right, so I think I go through all the common Liberian issue lay for the decisions. I'm religious following from my Debris, my open community here in Maserati County, Morville, Liberia, and watching from Philadelphia, watching from Single 19th Street. I'm also following. Okay, so guys, we want to say thank you so much for following the show. A lot of people following the show. Really, let's go to the next thing I want to discuss today, guys. Keep your comments coming, and we are not going to leave you out. We'll also make sure we read your comments. Oh yeah, I'm following from Greenville City, SINOE County. That's Oliver, and that's Sarah. We want you back after taking care of the baby. Okay. So yeah, we're looking up to you to come back. So let's go to the next thing that we have to discuss here today, and that's what the issue of Emmett Blayee. So our next topic here is Patrick and Twabo is we'll call this juxtaposition. Liberia on Americo-Liberian rule, and then the indigenous people. We want to look at that. I mean, was Liberia better under the watch of the Americo-Liberian 133 years, or since the indigenous took over, the country is better, or it was vice versa, whatever the deal? We just wanted to see, based on your historical analysis and based on your present thoughts of how the people conditions are in the country. Let's look into that. Twabo, what you say? What you think? Is Liberia better on the Americo-Liberian rule, or the oligarch, or is better now on the indigenous people?
Well, the one better is a very high degree of comparison, and because the only thing people will tell you is that during the Americo-Liberian time, those of them who lived that time will always consider a normal days, because I don't know, because at that time we are not going to work. But there were things that happened under the rules of the Americo-Liberians that were not also good, and there are things that happening under the indigenous that they spoke against when the Americo-Liberians were in power. They are also doing some of those same old things. For example, issue of corruption. Corruption has long existed, and if you listen to those who will always consider themselves progressive, I think those were things that they were fighting: issue of bad governance, the issue of nepotism, the issue of tribalism in government, and when they themselves now started taking the helm of leadership, they are doing exactly those same things that they preached again yesterday, that they fought for yesterday. But we experienced 14 years of civil war in Liberia. And after all of those, some of them went to prison for 15 years, 10 years, 20 years. So see them, we thought they would have come with a real plan of redemption, for the Liberian people. But if you saw the way the 1986 Constitution was crafted, and the last time we were reading through the Constitution, we were discussing some constitutionality. If you go through it, you will know that the few guys who took power, the few guys from the indigenous who took power from the Americo-Liberian.
Yeah, go ahead, Pablo. Your audio is off though. I didn't mute you. Let me get you out. You can come back. Patrick.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so but while we are waiting for Christian to come back, what do you make of the juxtapose? They compare and contrast the Liberia honoring the indigenous sons and daughters, and Liberia honoring the Americo-Liberian sons and daughters.
Okay, so let me say this, that I did not see the rule or the time of the Americo-Liberians. I was born 4 years after the rule came to an end.
Okay.
So,
did you read about them?
But as a student of history, as a student and teacher of history as well, a researcher, a writer, I have been able to do extensive research and sightseeing on their impact and everything that they did. So I would not call it better. Liberia in 133 years, and Liberia now in 44 years. Yeah, Liberia in 133 years, and Liberia in just 44 years. Anything better? So what I would say is that from what I have read, from what I have been able to learn from interactions with others, and from what I have seen so far, what I've met on the ground, when I was born, the rule of the Americo-Liberians was a perfect rule, was a good one for Liberia. It was not, inclusive though. It was not participatory though, but three things that I pick up from it: quality, excellence, discipline, and patriotism. I repeat the four things that I capture: quality, excellence, discipline, and patriotism. So while the men were stealing,
are you there? Hello?
While they were stealing, I mean, they were sending their kids to school, sending their children abroad, giving.
Patrick.
Yeah.
Your 4 points, you get quality, excellence, patriotism, and what else?
Quality, excellence, patriotism, and discipline.
Discipline. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So if you look at quality, my man, my father, I think, he was a Royal Sixth grader. Yeah, he was a Royal Sixth grader. But when I started school, he was the one teaching me. If I was in school, he was the one teaching me. When I was in elementary, junior high, he was the one teaching me. He was the one correcting my lessons. He was the one putting pen in my English. He would be the one telling me, no, you're wrong in this one. Say it this way. Right? So that was the kind of quality of education that people had at the time. So those who benefited from that system, they got quality education, though it was not modern as compared to today. Discipline those days, my brother, you could be 20 years old and you could still be sleeping in front of your mother's bed. In fact, you will be inside before your parents go to bed. So that was it. That was the kind of discipline that the country enjoyed. Patriotism. Why they were corrupt, why they were shitty, but they put the country also in their heart. So when they take 40% of the budget, they use 60% to develop the country. When they take 30%, they use 70%. And so they have some development, they build hospitals, they build roads, they pave streets. Yeah. So all I wanted, it happened. Now we come to the post. After 133 years, now we come on this side now. On this side, the first thing we did, we suspended the Constitution. We say it wasn't good for us. Correct. I like that. We correct it. We suspended it. All right. We took over. We went on the air. We won the BBC, and we said corruption was rampant. So in fact, they will pay for corruption with their lives. And 13 of them went on the poll. We put on firing squad to pay for the acts of corruption, and lack of inclusion and everything else. Here we are today. Greenville. Since in 1962, the first pavement took place in Greenville in 1962 at the birthday celebration of William V. Stutman. And what were the streets that were paved during that birthday celebration? The Mississippi Street and Mississippi Street and Johnson Street for Stutman celebration in 1962. There was no other pavement again until 1978 at the 131st Independence Day celebration in Greenville. That was the second time you saw Robert Street paved. Robert Street paved. That was the first time you saw the City Hall built. So now, if you move those things now from Greenville, from 1980 up to today, not a single strip of road has been paved in Greenville. All the streets are covered with bushes right now, in fact. Or in fact, the streets that were even built in 1962 and 1978, they're all broken now. No repair. Okay? But where's the money? In that time, there was no CDF, there was no SDF. Now we have CDF, SDF. Where is CDF, SDF been going? It has been going in the pockets of what? Of individuals. So corruption in this time is rampant. And another thing here.
I want you to address the point of excellence.
Okay, yeah, excellence. Excellence is extinct. Excellence is in free fall. Contact has overtaken excellence. All right? Connection has overtaken excellence. Cold water has overtaken excellence. And manipulation has overtaken excellence.
What do you mean by excellence in the first place?
So excellence, excellence is that merit-based, meritorious system, that allows for equal opportunity with in competition. People, there's a scholarship. You publish a scholarship, Patrick Bolu and ESOTERIC, they compete for it. When Patrick Bolu is qualified for it, he gets it. All right? He gets it. That was the kind of system that was practiced then. Yeah, now, no. Patrick Bolu can only get it because he has connection. All right? Because he has. So that's it. So in this time now, children go to school, they are manipulated. All right? They face so much egregious acts of corruption in the school system. And when they come out of school as well too, they go back into the same class we do as teachers too, and they carry the same practice there. And so they think so it becomes a vicious cycle. Excellence is extinct in this time. All right. Another thing is quality. Right? Talk about quality. What do we have here as quality? Plastic chairs have overtaken the whole country, the whole system. Right? Now we talk about the Greenville Theater, for example, it's empty right now, but looking for plastic chairs again to put there. When that theater was built, for example, they put in modern chairs, real chairs. I think President Clark is on the line here. She will attest to that. I was not there at the time, but they put in modern chairs. All right. Good chair when you sit down.
So Patrick, right? So in summary, if I understood you correctly, so you are saying Liberia was better under the watch of the Americo-Liberians than it is under the indigenous people. Is that correct?
It's correct. Yeah, it was better. And the only exception, and one exception.
Go ahead.
One exception. Liberia in this time, opens doors for international exposure to a larger extent. So both Americo-Liberians, both indigenous now have equal access to international exposure. Before then, no, only Americo-Liberians had a right to go abroad. Now, only at least indigenous and Americo-Liberians both now can buy their own plane ticket now. They both can come back in the country right now and go America or go Europe, go Asia, go to other African countries at that time. So yeah, so Liberia is bad right now. It's bad. Look at the whole system. See. Look at government operations. They gave it civil servants here. Civil servants can't pay horse right now. somebody here must disagree with me or agree with me. But I know, I read, I learned. Teachers who were teaching in the classroom build houses for themselves. I mean, before 1980, teachers who were in the classroom, how they call it, they could afford opportunity for themselves. People who are working with companies and other NGOs, for example, could build houses for themselves. Civil servants in all sectors could build houses for themselves. They could afford. Today, no civil servant can build a decent house. Today, no civil servant can build a decent house. If you want to build a house, you will build mud house, you plaster, you put cement on it. You put cement on it, you call it a good house. But to build a solid concrete in a modern concrete house with water running inside it, no civil servant in this time can build it right now. So you see there? So you see where the country is? So yes, it was bad. It is bad now than it was yesterday. Let me pause so you come in.
Okay, all right, Patrick, thank you. Guess what? I fundamentally disagree with you on at least 89 or 99% of the thing you said.
Okay.
Like you, I wasn't around during the regime of the Americo-Liberian. But when you spoke of equal opportunity, for example, I don't know in what context you were speaking, but you have a country that was under one-party rule. One party, one group of people ruled. I'm not saying lead, I'm saying they ruled the country for 133 years. And Patrick is telling me that's equal opportunity. No, Patrick, I don't call that equality. I call that suppression. And guess what? Those that were leading for 133 years, they were in the minority. The majority, they didn't have rule. They didn't have power. They were relegated to get men and get women. They were horse boys and horse men. That's the job to give our people. At least the higher job was to give it a job. All right. So when you use the word equal opportunity, maybe you are using it in different contexts that I do not understand. Okay. This country, Liberia, is a tiny country. It's 43,000 miles. Okay. 43,000 miles. And you spoke of roads. And after 133 years, the people could not build roads all around the country. Around 43,000 square miles. They could not do it. And Patrick said these people are patriotic. I mean, I don't. Well, the way I understand the word patriotism is love of country. So had the Americo-Liberians loved Liberia, loved their country, they would not have suppressed the majority for 133 years. The majority literally had to wage war in order to get access to power, to the point where this majority, they never had the right to vote, or they never had representation in government. And these people instituted law that say taxation without representation. These people were paying hot taxes to these people for 133 years. And my friend Patrick is saying that was equality. Patrick, no. You have President Chapman and his family, literally, it was a family organization they were running, how they were running Liberia. The people signed 99 years contract with Firestone. And there is no hospital where Firestone is. There is no clinic where Firestone is. There is no library for people to read. I mean, everything is a total mess. And Patrick is saying, yes, these people on their watch, Liberia was better. I don't agree with that. Corruption was even worse on their watch. Do we have corruption right now on the indigenous? Absolutely, yes. Absolutely, yes. But who held the people accountable at the time? Nobody was holding them accountable. Right now, we have some sort of assembly of justice. Do we have justice? No. But at least people are held accountable right now. Patrick now has the right to vote. It was not the case before. Our people literally had to change their names. So you have before Patrick goes to school, he has to change the name to somebody else's name. So you have a Fambula become a free man. For in my case, for example, my father, I was told that he went to school, you were living with them in Grand Kema somewhere. He had to change the name from jail to free man before he can get education. So that is not equality. That is not. So, Patrick, when you talk about excellence, I don't see the excellence on the watch. I think I would give credit to the progressives. The progressives did an awesome job. They opened the country up for the Yabawulo to participate in government, for the Tiajes to participate, for the Zazas to participate, for the Bolus to participate, for the Tababos to participate. That's what we call equality. All right. So the guys open a space for everyone, even including the Americo-Liberians. You know, so this guy should be celebrated. Doe is a hero, at least to the indigenous people, because he had to muster the courage to break something that the people before him, they were afraid to do, and they lived under tyranny for 133 years. And it took Doe and few of the men to say, you know what, enough is enough. We got to stand up to these people. And they took this guy down. Did they do everything right? No, of course not. But at least they got the majority to participate in the affairs of their country. They have them to get involved. What did they do with their freedom? That is their business. It's not those business now, or it's not the progressive business. The progressive, they advocated for all the children in the villages and towns to have access to education, which they do right now. Is there? I mean, one thing you spoke of, which is the quality, and I agree with you on that one. The quality is lacking right now. But on a door, the quality was there. The quality in education on a door was good. It wasn't terrible as it is right now. If the indigenous guys like Doe, for example, you take Doe from there and you put the other Americo-Liberian called Charles Taylor, on whom while you and myself were around. How was the country? Liberia was sanctioned by the international community. They took the National Bank of Liberia to the place they call White Flowers, which you know, and Charles Taylor could do anything, and Charles Taylor left. And they have another Americo-Liberian, Ellen Justice Ellie. I'm talking about people on whose watch we were. And after leading for 12 years, you know what she said? The education system is a mess. She left a mess for us. So, Patrick, I am saying it is terrible on the Americo-Liberian than it is on the indigenous. It is the indigenous guy. If you read the Constitution, it talks about mass education of the people. It took an indigenous son called George Weah, liking it or not. He declared university education, public education free in the country, which is in keeping with the Constitution. But the Americo-Liberian at the time, they wanted to suppress you and myself, the indigenous people, the majority. So you don't have access to education. Only their children were going to University of Liberia, which is called University of Liberia now. It was called, different name before. You know? So I think under the indigenous, they do things wrong. Yeah, they got some wrong things going on. Yes. The people were so angry to the point where they had to even send Charles Taylor to take the indigenous out of power. The man brought guns and killed 250,000 of the indigenous people because the indigenous came to power. Because the indigenous are not supposed to have access to power. So Patrick, no. Power, if you compare the 40 years you're talking about under the indigenous people, it is far better than it was under the 133 years of the Americo-Liberians. Yes, I would say that for sure. Yeah, go ahead. Let me give you the opportunity.
Thank you. You know, I like the discourse, and it is good. And, you know, let me tell you something about the indigenous man. The indigenous man has the opportunity. We had the opportunity to change this country into a paradise. So clean all the mess the Americo-Liberians created. And yes, I must salute the gallantry and courage of Samuel K. Doe, and, you know, for opening the eyes of the indigenous people and redeeming the country for 133 years, one-party rule. I know the redemption of the country for me, this year from the indigenous people, but I see it from one-party rule. Yeah, that was that for me. That's the contest. That's a contest in which I want to see it, because I want to see Liberia as a country for all Liberians. But for one-party rule, I agreed. And and I salute that courage. And his legacy, is glaring. He has executed very good programs. Public buildings were constructed under his watch. But as the indigenous people, as an indigenous man, who were those that targeted him as well? In 133 years, the Americo-Liberians were in their power. They were enjoying themselves. Nobody could say anything against them. All right, but indigenous men hated an indigenous man that in less than 5 years of his leadership, the first coup was launched against him. Right, it failed. Bam, again, another one came against him. So there is a kind of indigenous, there's a kind of indigenous nature that I'm talking about here.
So Pastor, just to be clear, who the indigenous man that undermined the indigenous man?
Oh, who was it Americo-Liberian that launched nothing in the coup? Was it Americo-Liberian? No.
I agree with you on that point, but guess what?
Okay.
Was the face, because the Americo-Liberians were beyond it.
Okay, I'm coming now.
Yeah.
Okay, so was it Americo-Liberian that crossed over to Buto? No, it was not Americo-Liberian.
When you say Buto, you're talking about Charles Taylor?
No, I talking about PYJ.
Okay.
And even a Charles Taylor had been the one to even arrive here and capture the indigenous man. He couldn't have even executed him. He couldn't have. All right, you have found a way perhaps to allow saying Azar, or maybe putting somewhere else. But what I'm saying in a nutshell is that the indigenous people had the opportunity. They talk about Firestone. What has stopped the indigenous man? If you suspend the Constitution, for example, what stopped the indigenous men, for example, for saying you will no longer export latex in this country, from this country. You will no longer export latex. Your latex must be refined here. You must build a refinery here. What stopped an indigenous man from doing that? Nothing. Indigenous men to sign concession here. How much he can take from the people? How much he can take from the concessionaires? He can take envelope, right? Right? So the point I'm making is that the opportunity of the thing about revolution is to make a change, to change the system around. Let me backtrack a bit more. When Muammar Gaddafi when he overthrew his father, let's say his third father, all right, in 1969, and he clinched onto power, all right, the man changed everything that was bad, good. All right? He changed. If you look in Liberia, for example, to show the man was so progressive to the extent that in countries where his ideas were being sold, he built plazas into those countries. You go to Senegal there, you see the Pan-African Plaza. It's a sign and symbol of the Libyan government on Gaddafi. You go to Lofa right there, Gaddafi had an agriculture program there where the machines were sent to do industrial farming. The point I'm making here is that when you take over in a revolution, you got only one goal. The one goal is to clean the mess and change the system for the good of all those that were marginalized. But today, look at the masses today, my brother. There are more poor people, there are more suffering people, there are more sick people, there are more hungry people, there are more dead people. And one good thing I must say again, my brother, to close my term before you come back in. Thanks be to God again to Samuel Kayendo for coming. He didn't only rescue Liberia in 1980, but he opened international doors that today some more. If we can't even get it from Liberia, if we can't even get it from the politicians, we place the call. Yeah, when the politicians taking the BB, when they taking the elephant, the lion's share, and they take the national cake, they keep it in their coffers, in their rooms, and everywhere, and they can't give it to us. The poor masses, when they can't get it, at least somebody don't open that door and say, okay, you all go. So the poor masses now, the alternative rescue route, the alternative trade route, somebody don't create an alternative trade route for them or an alternative rescue route for them. So, say the country you, for example, you will call your man ESOTERIC. You will call your man ESOTERIC. You will call President Myers. You will call, your man Otelekolo. You call other people, to whom, who eyes, got exposed internationally as a result of the revolution. And, you will get something for either, for a month, or at least for a quarter of a month, or even for a year, and you have relief. Other than that, today, my brother, Liberians who have been in real hell. As a man recently said himself ablaze just for being hungry. For days, he went without food. He said, no, I can end the mess. I can end this whole suffering here. He put gas on himself, set himself ablaze. Now he's at GFK, he pings. You see how horrible it is, how horrible it has been in this country. So we got good reason to celebrate the redemption of the country. But my brother, corruption in this country, dishonesty in this country, especially lying to people, dishonesty in this country. I don't know. It's so prevalent to the extent that when somebody lies to you, you believe that shit. When somebody lies to you in this country right now, when somebody call you and lie to you, you believe them and you begin to do things. See see this guy who just came to the country, one young guy. He just came down to this country to pay a house, right? He sent tons of thousands of dollars down there to say to somebody that, you want a land, you want to pay a house, the person pay money, carry your somebody expense to in somebody's compound and say, okay, you know what I mean? The whole side in the fence here for you. Go push that with that now, bam. My man, what you doing here? So you see what I'm talking about, ESOTERIC? This country is right now as bad as you can imagine it.
All right, Patrick, thank you. Thank you for your take again. Let me do my last round and then we'll go to the next thing. But I think you make up a point, especially you reference the suspension of the Constitution by the People's Redemption Council. And I think that's the right thing to do. Because the Constitution at the time, for example, Patrick and myself, we never had the right to vote at the time. The Constitution was one-sided. It was just for the oligarchs. So you have to you have to have real properties and all those different things. They got different things to put in that Constitution, which the indigenous people could not afford. They got all those things. So they needed to have suspended that Constitution to bring something new. So he did the right thing on that point. Suspending the Constitution in revolution, you don't keep the old instrument that the people were using to suppress you. No. So he got rid of it. That's the right move. And Patrick, it's kind of weird that people would take your whole a 22-year-old man. I think they were around 22 years or 23 when he took power. A young man who never had political experience. And you have people that they call themselves political gurus, and they led the country for 133 years. And they could not cover 43,000 miles with roads. And somebody would say, oh, only that Washington was good. That's horrible. And though in 10 years, things that you are doing, you were radically changing that country, and the same people went to work, and they brought this guy. They brought Charles Taylor. To say, you know what, let's go take that man from there because he is catering to the majority. He is giving the platform to the majority to prosper. And so the likes of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, they brought Charles Taylor. Those people who said they are Democrat. No, they didn't say, okay, let's go to election and remove Doe. They gave guns to Charles Taylor to come and plunge the country because they want to be in power. Patrick? So it is wrong. It is a wrong analysis for anybody to think that, oh, Charles, I'm honoring the indigenous people, the country was better. No, it wasn't better. It was one-sided. I mean, you talk about Prince Johnson. Who brought Prince Johnson? It was the propaganda of the Americo-Liberian, and they do divide and conquer. This guy brought war to the country. And you expect the sitting president to sit down and say, you know what, I'll watch the guy to invade the country. And the president issued ultimatum for people to leave that area where this rebel guy was. He said the people to leave the area. And the people were there. What is the first responsibility of a president? Is to protect lives and property, to defend the country, to defend the nation. And the country was under invasion by a rebel leader. And the guy went to the area to defend his country, and people got killed in the process. I mean, you talk about Kuomba, for example. Who did Doe go after Kuomba? It was Kuomba that was used by the Americo-Liberians to come and overthrow Doe. And so, what happened when you don't overthrow a sitting president? What happened? The man will come after you. So he went there and killed the man. The man was an enemy to Doe. So I didn't see what Doe did wrong there. When you come and kill me, you didn't use the ballot box to come and take power and take gun. When you miss me, what will happen? I will come for you. And so I didn't see what Doe did wrong. Did innocent people get killed in the process? Yes. But that's the nature when you bring war and you don't do it through the ballot. That's what happened. I don't support the killing of people, you know. I don't support that innocent people, all those different things. But there is no evidence to that effect to say, oh, I've been guaranteeing, oh, those people in the well and the people, they can't show any evidence. They just make allegation. So it was not saying Americo-Liberians, so because Doe got rid of Kuomba who came to overthrow Doe militarily, he wasn't successful. And the likes of Prince Johnson, he was used by the Americo-Liberians to come after Doe, who was performing a constitutional responsibility. That's his job as a president to defend the country. Kuomba launched a coup to come and overthrow the authority in the country. And what he did, he subdued that revolution, that coup. Multiple coups were waged against Doe when you were in power. They were not successful. Why the people could not take power democratically? Doe did not stop there. There were elections in 1985. The man opened the country up for people to come and vote. They should use the opportunity, you know. So, Patrick, you are on the wrong side of history, and you made a point. You said the point of revolution is to change the system, and Doe did exactly that. The minority were not in power anymore when he came back. When he came to power, the majority was in power. So that is a change of the system. All the people, including the minority, they had the right not to vote. That was a change of the system, you know. So so Patrick, we can go on and on today, but I think under the watch of the indigenous people, Liberia is better off because the minority are not suppressed. I mean, there are corruption going on. Absolutely, yeah. Let me see. There's a caller here. Maybe you got something to say here. Hey, Tote.
Yeah, how are you, sir?
I'm well, thank you. What's your take?
Oh, no, I just listened to you making some historical analysis and about Samuel Doe at developmental agendas of Liberia. But I have a different perspective on that anyway.
Go ahead, Buzz. That's fine.
Yeah, for me, when those overthrow Tolbert, I consider it as a patriotism because at the time the indigenous was suffering under the conquered people. And through those regimes today, most people get exposed to government positions. Like back in the day, the people used to keep the money in the houses. But today we know where our money can be kept in central banks and all those things. But that, if you follow history, what I can tell you is that Samuel Doe, you have a good side and the bad side.
Absolutely.
The bad side of Samuel Doe is are the incipients of the revolutions, and he created enemy for himself. Like for example, the Thomas Westside, the assassination of Thomas Westside today, we don't know where Thomas Westside was buried. Even though we know though it was a military man, but why would you kill your own kinsman, knowing fully well that Thomas Westside had the root of a crime and Sapo? So it was Thomas Kuwamba. Kuwamba escaped from Liberia because though attempted to kill him.
What did he do?
So, it was a power. When you follow the trains of Samuel Doe, don't do it in your way that most of the guys that you know that most ain't no trying to be like they are most ain't no educators somewhere or the other, like what I'm talking about Thomas Westside.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas Westside was one of the wise men among them. But Doe felt that Thomas Westside traveling out of the country and he the president at the times, the man came from other and outside the country, knowing fully well he sent Thomas Westside, he arrested him. Thomas Kuwamba don't know Thomas Kuwamba was a smart guy, so he was targeting to assassinate the man. What prompted the man to leave the country? So even though Thomas Kuwamba came by and did not kill Doe, but Doe himself created an enemy. But in all fairness, I can say Doe was a developmental oriented person. Because looking at a short period of time that you sit in power, in the kind of construction that you put down in Liberia, roads and other things, but at the beginning, it's for the whole thing by going against some of the colleagues that that took part in the coup.
Okay, fair enough, but Tote, I think if you ask me, yeah, some of the action he took, he did not do it on his own volition, right? You have to understand this man was 22 or 23 years. He never had political experience, okay? Mm-hmm. And he's in power. The mistake he made was he the same people he overthrew, he brought some of them on board because guess what? The guy has no political experience, right? So he brought some of the Americo-Liberians in the government so that they can help. But then the same people start to run propaganda because again you have to understand it's divide and conquer. So what they were doing was manipulating the young man. He said, "Do Thomas Wesson, he's this," and so they basically put the man against Doe. They ran propaganda. They Kuwamba, those people, they ran propaganda, and that's how Doe got afraid. You got to understand, he's a young man, 22-year-old man leading a country. Okay, and you have the people that have been in politics for years. So he didn't do it voluntarily. It was the forces that were pushing him to do those things. Should he take responsibility? Absolutely. But I can say Doe voluntarily or willingly just woke up overnight and say, I want to kill Kuwamba or I want to kill Wesson. No. It was those guys that manipulated them because they wanted to come to power, so they wanted to divide the indigenous people because they were seeing the solidarity among the indigenous. So they how do we permeate the people is to put them apart. And that's what they did.
Yeah, one scenario, I understand that. I understand your point of view. But yes, one scenario do be another mistake. But assassinations were the 13 government officials.
What mistake did he make in doing that?
To kill 13 government officials on level broad day. You know what I mean?
What did they do? Were they innocent people?
No. Listen to me. We at the time there was justice system in play. Why can't you prosecute the people, send them to jail, and they bear the full weight?
They went to court, but it was military tribunal.
Oh man!
Yes,
that tribunal was compromised. You know that already. And Doe himself, put his own people there. When the people go, who going to testify, where's the witness, and all those stuff. They just do it to make people to know, we're sending that to the military tribunal. But these are teams that brought the civil war to Liberia. The 13 government officials, you know very well that they served in the government for a longer period of time. More besides, their children were educated. Their children have money. So these are people that sponsor Madam Ellen Johnson said in charity and Prince Johnson today. Is here. So these are
what we often do is on Tote, we kind of put forth the 13 Americo-Liberians that do put on firing squad, right? But we negate the fact that the Americo-Liberians killed more indigenous people than the indigenous did to them. Before even the indigenous came to power, how many of our people, what did they do? Liberia was guilty for slavery under their watch. The Fananipo incident, right? The League of Nations declared Liberia guilty for human trafficking and those different things. They were doing it. They killed thousands of the indigenous people. But many times people negate what they did. And even our child tell time that it works. During our time, you and myself were living, we saw 250,000 indigenous were murdered by these guys. So when somebody would take 13%, why 13% important than 250,000? Why? So I don't see that. I don't see those, because the people committed a crime, economic crime. Unfortunately, though, then they got in the same thing they killed the people for, and that's a hypocrisy I don't like. But they did the right thing.
Well,
yes, that's how I see it.
That's the genesis of our civil crisis. That these are genesis of the civil crisis, because killing 13 government officials on broad day, it create that kind of trauma for Liberian, not only Liberian, but for the families, and also international community.
So, they commit trauma. It didn't inflict trauma when you killed 250,000. Is that traumatic?
It does. Yeah. Let me tell you, it's standing somewhere in the presence and somebody kill your brother broad day. It creates psychological effect on the trauma.
But didn't they do the same thing during the war? They need to look at the people and say, "Kiss my gun."
No, but I'm not talking about the war. The 13 government official at that time, there was no war in Liberia. The 13 government official, there was no war in Liberia.
No, it was not a democracy. The guys overthrew the government. So it wasn't a peaceful incident at that time. They overthrew the government. So what should they do to maintain power? Because if you leave those guys, they will undermine them again. So it's revolution.
Right.
Yeah.
These are similar things that we are facing today with the present government. When you meet a woman and when that woman comes for a relationship, and you the men are coming over to take that woman, do not remind the woman for a power relationship. So your ex now does this one to you, or your ex was doing this. No, it is because she see some difference between your ex and you. That's the reason why she take you. So she will not take you and keep reminding of. That's what kind of people doing. CDC did it. In CDC did it. We met this one. And that was Samuel do today. Oh yeah, our people were treated bad. So he came to power to start treating the Congo people the same way.
No, he didn't treat them bad. He didn't treat them bad. He brought them in government. He brought some of them. But those guys were yeah.
The killing of 13 government officials, it mean a lot. Today, some people still going on that trauma.
Tote, how many people die under those 13 government officials? The corruption, the neglect of the people, the majority. How many people died when they were in power? Because they neglected the majority. And the people were dying from poverty, from diseases and different things. But you are worrying about those putting on fire and strife for killing people before, because they kill people. You might not physically do it, but your policy kill people. That's what they did. They neglected the majority. There's no hospital, no educational system. And as a result, disease all the play and they kill the majority. So how can you blame those for doing the right thing?
Let me make a point.
The complex of Liberian civil war, it comes from many directions, but I guess that I have limited time, so cannot go deeper and what I want to elaborate on.
Okay, Chief.
But thank you. Thank you for the topic, and thank you for keeping our people informed.
Okay,
thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Thanks for the contribution as well, boss. Thank you.
All right,
Patrick, what's you say?
Yeah, so I want also do this. You see, every time an eye goes for an eye, the warrior goes blind. All right. In 1917, on the watch of Superintendent Francis Grant, the man after whom the Greenville Hospital is named, and President Daniel, it was Daniel Howard, they publicly led 17 chiefs, all right, from the coast to Greenville, where the Greenville City Hall is built today. They led those men, and they executed them. for not paying their taxes or for resistance government, taxation and all of that. Now, should we use that as why it was bad? But should we also use that as a justification to say no, we had to pay back? So you see Francis Bacon talked about justice, okay, revenge, in his essay he defined revenge as a white justice. So if you slap the man on his jaw, don't expect that he will slap you in your jaw. Don't. If he's coming back for you, he may come for your eye. All right?
Yeah.
Your eye. Yeah. So Francis Bacon defined revenge as a white justice that put one out of office, right? So the one who did it first, he stands to be wrong. But you come back and based on the wildness of your reaction, you become wrong. And that's what happened in this country. The justice minister at the time, Chichepo, he ill-advised the president, the head of state. He ill-advised the head of state. In fact, I regard him as the most vicious human being I ever lived in Liberia, because his foster father, the man who gave him all the education, he was an Americo-Liberian too. The man who reared him, who sent him to school, who clothed him, who fed him, the former justice minister as well, Councillor Chisholm, all right? He succeeded his and his father was among those who were even in jail. Can you imagine their God's heart? Can you imagine Chichepo's heart? That kind of heart a man get. Chichepo could have used his father's situation and to say, my man, okay, Mr. President, this thing here, I think it holds water. My father is involved in this thing here. But his father, all the other men, a man said, let me go. What kind of heartlessness could that be? So for me, because he was so wicked, he could not forget his own foster father, who he lived with, who gave him everything. And he could not say, Mr. President, please, the man is not found guilty. Because he was a government lawyer, all right? He was in court. He could go back to the president and say, in fact, Mr. President, this man, after trial, are not found guilty. He could tell the president, head of state, this man, after trial, was not found guilty. But the man went to the president, reported, his father, Councillor Chisholm, all the other men were, found guilty in less than 1 week of trial. In less than 1 week. Can you imagine murder trial like that or corruption trial like that is so tough? Can I prove evidence show that in 1 week? So sometimes you can't blame the head of state for the actions that he took. The next point is that the Americo-Liberians, they didn't talk, all right? They never had any problem. They knew they were hopeless. Their properties were seized. Their lives were being threatened or taken. But they got only one weapon against the indigenous people. They said, okay, no problem. They pretended as if it was okay for them. They pretended as if they are forgiving the indigenous people. They pretended as if they say everything was fine. They didn't get problem. Now some of these people now came to be advisors to in the government. They also convinced the president to join their society. All right, and in the meetings, the president is a member. He's not a president in the meetings in the first place. All right, when they meet in their society meetings, the president is on their jurisdiction. He's a member. All right, he's subordinate in the meeting. When they come out of the meeting, for example, he's a president. So in the meetings, and as per history and what we were told, some of the actions that the president took came up from the meetings. Some of the actions, okay, Mr. President, this is what we want, right? What brought Tolbert down for? Tolbert disagree with them in some of their meetings. He disagree with them. He said Tolbert should not kill Tolbert should not kill the people that were found, that were involved into ritualism in Maryland. They said Tolbert should not kill his own brother. Tolbert said, no, the law is the law. He disagreed with them in their meeting. He said, no, the law is the law. Those who take the lives of other people must face the full weight of the law as well. So, Tolbert put those who were involved in the Maryland, murders in those scandals, he put them on a firing squad. All right? They were killed imminently. So they went against him for that because Tolbert disagreed with them. For Samuel Doe, he didn't know what he was doing. He was a little boy, inexperienced. So when they put it to him, he would take it. When they bring it the other way, he would take it. In fact, I remember in the TRC testimony, the TRC testimony, the PRC members, they were chasing the daughters, the beautiful daughters of the very people that properties they were seizing and executing. They were taking their daughters. So come to think about this. You were the bodyguard of one beautiful girl, my man. You were the bodyguard to her. You were a slave to her. You were serving her. Then once some morning, because you didn't get power, and you tell us, oh, I want you, right? Mm-hmm. You tell us, I want you. You were serving her. You are wasting her feces, right? You were doing everything for her. Once some morning, you go stay for her. They say, oh, I love you. I like you. All right. What will she do? Her father will tell her, say, yes, go there. Go there, daughter. And you know why? It's in bed that women can manipulate men. When you put your head on your pillows, when she's stimulating your nipples and telling you things in your ears, and you jitter in yourself, you say, yeah, baby, I will do it. Yeah, baby, I will do it. So all the military men, for example, that were, the people use the killing of each and every one of them. They use it as a revenge, one after the other, until Doe himself became the last, right? So that means all the 17 non-commissioned armed officers, all the 17 non-commissioned armed officers, they kept manipulating. They will manipulate. He will take one down. They say fine. He will manipulate and they take one down. Fine. So they left manipulating until all of them. The last of the 17 was Doe himself. The last of the 17 was Doe himself. So they say, okay, now 16 gone now. 16 have it remain one man now. They want the man himself. What do we do here now? There is no way who can we, because we can't manipulate to kill himself. Okay, we can't manipulate to kill himself. All right. So how do we do it? Okay, we can't make a story that will make the case to shoot himself. What do we do it? Maybe our daughters, like the case came out. How? All right. I understand the rule he should have built a Grand Gila County. He was manipulated, to take the rule from Grand Caymount to take a rule from Grand Gila and carry it to Grand Caymount. All right, the Babagila Highway, going to Bobolasa. You got a woman manipulated him. Said no, baby.
Patrick, I want to summarize. We can do the last talking point before we call it a day.
Yeah. So all these things here. So it will keep manipulating to get back at people. It will keep manipulating to get back at each other. It will keep manipulating. We go nowhere. And for the Americo-Liberians, satisfied with the level of the country. They are pleased. They are satisfied because why? Liberia is their second home. And the first thing, for we the country people, Liberia is our only home. For the Americo-Liberians, Liberia is a second home. All right? They only came here for settlement. When somebody tell you from over there now, somebody tell you go to America now, all people in America now, they are all on settlement, right? Mm-hmm. But their country is Liberia, but they're on settlement. So Liberia is their second home. Their original home is America. They got nothing to lose. Why would Liberia lose that? But we are the ones that lost almost everything. We're the ones that are suffering. We are the ones that are in poverty. We are the ones that are hungry. We are the ones that do feel the pinch of everything that happened there. They were the ones, in fact, to conclude that told the Prince Johnson, the Charles Taylor, and the other warring factions, even if you reach in a town to kill your fellow indigenous man, when he escaped from you, buy a horse, Yes, that was the advice. He said, when you go to kill your fellow indigenous man in your town, when you go to him in your town, and you not find him there in your town, and you run away from your town, put all the horses in that town there, put it on fire. That was the kind of manipulating advices that that the people took. And because we never had the education, we took it and we spoil our country, we plan our country, and here we are today. Our leaders giving us wahala.
All right, Padre, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate your thoughts. And the one thing you said from Gandhi, an eye for an eye will leave the world blind. I think Gandhi was a pacifist, and though I know guys they don't subscribe to pacifism, they are revolutionaries, and so I don't know why somebody say an eye for an eye will lead it. So why you bust your other man eye in the first place? You don't want somebody to bust your own, So, but. Tribal, welcome back. Let's do the last topic. We were just juxtaposing the Liberian under the rule of the Americo-Liberian and the indigenous people. But let's do the last one. The last one I want us to talk about today is the overthrow of President Doe and President Tolbert. One caller, I think what Tote said, the overthrow of Doe was patriotic. It was patriotic. That's what he said. And that's one thing we already have on the agenda. So before we go deep into this one, I want us to look at a few comments or few clauses in the Constitution. What was the overthrow? Like Tote pointing out, Tolbert on Charles overthrowing Doe, it was patriotic. So can we also say that the overthrow of Tolbert by Doe was also patriotic? But what does the Constitution say, when it comes to these things? So let's look at some provision in the Constitution. Let's look at Article 24B of the Constitution of Liberia Constitution. Article 24B, for example. Let me get to 24 here quickly. 27. We got 24, 23, 24. 24B. It said what? Is that 24B? Yes. Okay. Let me see them. Why the inviolability of private property shall be guaranteed by the Republic, expropriation may be authorized for the security of the nation. Okay, I think it's the wrong provision. The event of armed conflict where the public health and safety in danger for any other purpose. Okay, that's the wrong position I'm reading here. So let's look at 24B that we're looking at. So let's look at 42. Got a couple of them here. 24B. Okay, 42. What 42 says? Article 42 of the Constitution. It says here 42 say, no member of the Senate or House of Representatives shall be arrested, detained, prosecuted, or tried as a result of opinions expressed or votes cast in the exercise of the functions of his office. Members shall be privileged from arrest while attending, going to, or returning from sections of the legislature, except for treason. Okay, that's the portion I want, except for treason. That's number one. That's Article 42. 63, Article 63. Let's look at 63 quickly. 63 says, 63, 1, 2, 3. 3 says, whenever a person elected to the office of president dies or is otherwise incapacitated before being inaugurated into office, the vice president elect shall succeed to the office of president, and his ascension shall commence at. How can I put the wrong provision here? Okay, but the major one is 76 that I want also focus on more. So Article 76 is the major one that speaks against treason, for example. So 76 says, A, treason against the Republic shall consist of A, or one, if you want, one, levying war against the Republic. 2, aligning oneself with the aiding and abetting another nation or people with whom Liberia is at war or in a state of war. 3, it says the act of espionage for any enemy state. 4, attempting by overt act to overthrow the government, rebelling against the republic, insurrection, and mutinying. And 5, abrogating or attempting to abrogate, subverting or attempting or conspiring to subvert the Constitution by use of force or show of force or by any other means which attempts to undermine this Constitution. Okay, that's the position of the Constitution when it comes to treason, for example. So the question is the overthrow of Doe or the overthrow of President Tolbert. Was it an act of patriotism, like Tote said, the overthrow of Doe was out of patriotism, or it was a treasonous act? So let's go into let's start with you, Tobabo. Was it? What do you make of the overthrow of Doe and Tolbert?
Have you unmuted my mic?
Yeah, I'm meeting you, but you gotta speak a little louder.
Thank you. So that the issue have two key words: patriotism and treason. So first, what is treason? Treason is a crime. Is a crime or an act of overthrowing the government, an act of trying to kill the president or overthrow the government. And that is treason. So what is patriotism? Patriotism, simply as definition means the love one has for country, either by means of identification or by means of willingness to stand for and defend your country at all times, even if it will cost to take your life. So in the process of trying or attempting to overthrow a seated government, elected government, a sovereign government, I don't know in what sense or what reason anybody would name it patriotism. And so he was in that act of being patriotic. Was it an act of showing love to the country? And what is it that the Tolbert government was doing that you think it was, it was very harmful to the entire Liberian populace, for which you think the only solution was to either overthrow him or to kill him? So if treason is defined by the act committed by Doe, there should be no reason why we should avoid those actions were patriotic, because treason means that to overthrow a city government, to attempt to kill the president, to overthrow the government, and that's what Doe did. So it has no different definition, it has no different meaning, it had no different name. That was out of treason. Had that coup failed, had that 1980 coup failed, someone would have gone after Doe and entire crew. They were just so fortunate that they were very successful in executing the coup. Had that coup failed, it would have been an eye for an eye, because Tolbert would have retaliated, and the retaliation of Tolbert would have all landed them behind bars as person of for treason, or it would have let them be executed. So I don't think anything in that act to be considered patriotic. It was an act of treason. It was
all right, let's bring Patrick. Patrick.
Yeah.
Would you say the revolution of Doe was patriotic or a treasonous? Or to put it another way, the overthrow of Doe by Charles Taylor, was it patriotic or treasonous?
The overthrow, was treasonous but patriotic. Are you there?
Yeah, you say it's both?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was treasonous because.
So which one are you referring to now? Both of them, Charles Taylor or Doe?
Charles Taylor revolution was treasonous.
And though revolution was patriotic.
Though was both ways.
Okay, please expand.
Yeah. So, by definition of treason, on constitutional international law, is the overthrow of constitutional authority. Tolbert was sitting as a president, and for whatever reason he was taken down or murdered, that was treasonous. Also, it was patriotic. It was patriotic in nation, for the fact that all Liberians, needed to be, inculcated in the one body politics of the country and enjoy the overall benefits of the country. Any one group of people or leadership over the country for 133 unbroken years. So those, in other words, taking the country from one party to multi-party, to 22 parties, 22 political parties. It was it was a reason. So in law, people will call it they will call it harmless. Honestly, harmless violation. Honestly, they call it harmless violation or whatever. Yeah, harmless violation. Yeah. So, but Charles Taylor, though was sitting as a president, though tenure 1986, though tenure have expired in 1991 and the 2. I think now the 1 and the 2. I think now the 1 should have been an election. Yeah. Now the 1 the election. Okay, for a second term or for a new election. So to come to Liberia in 1989, and when election was already pending in 1991, or to come here in 1990 and say the president must step down, and start shooting all over the place, it was treasonous. And I think that's why Charles Taylor, if I correctly, that's why he be a boss. He be a boss right now for.
Okay, Pastor, let me bring Twabo is shaking in here, so let me bring Twabo back. Twabo, before you go ahead, let me read a portion of the content. Let me put you on mute because there's a feedback from your end. Let me read a portion. So you said the act of overthrowing a government or an attempt to overthrow a government is treasonous, which I agree with. But your constitution says in Article 1, it says here, all power is inherent in the people. All free governments are instituted by their authority and for their benefit, and they have the right to alter and reform the same when their safety and happiness so required. The Constitution, it looks like it doesn't agree with you. It said when the people's happiness and their safety is at stake, they have the right to alter the government. So what did do wrong, or what did Charles Taylor do wrong? Let me unmute you.
Yeah, unmute me. I like the fact that in Patriots first discussion of the previous topic, even though I came late, but from what I got, he laid more emphasis on Muhammad Gandhi. And they say Muhammad Gandhi was considered as the father of civil rights movement, and believe in the system of civil disobedience.
Non-violence. Yeah.
Non-violence campaign, civil disobedience, non-violence campaign, and which we consider protest these days. So if the people believe that their safety, their happiness, is being jeopardized by a sitting government, it is not to take gun or collar to go and kill the president. No, you saw it recently in Venezuela, and the Venezuelans go in the street for mass protest, and at the end of the day, the president had to flee the country. You saw it in Egypt when the Egyptians got time with the rule of their leader. They all got in the street and they surrounded the House of Parliament. They surrounded the mansion or the president residence for days and hours, for weeks, and the president had to flee overnight. You saw what happened recently in Kenya. you know, when the Kenyan Parliament and the
question.
yeah.
Yes, sir. You got something to say?
Oh no. Sorry about that. Don't want to.
Okay, I'll call you back after the show.
Okay, man.
Yeah, go ahead, Christian.
All right, thank you. So the point I'm making is that the art of wanting to activate Article 1, which talks about all power inherent in the people. It didn't say that when the people happiness and safety is threatening, they should take gun or cut and kill the leader, no. But they should express it through a process of non-violence. And that's why you see people can protest. Protest can change a lot of things. Protest is universally and conventionally accepted. But the fact that it was not that way, and they decided to go through a coup, and then immediately after the coup was successful, when doing set to power, there were other people who also felt that their happiness and their safety also was being threatened by those administrations. So those very people were the ones who were coming back to think that. So what happened with the revolution of Chancellor, and those who were Chancellor, executed according to them, they said it was patriotic as well, because for the fact that they were coming back to free their people from those oppression, to free their people from the way they were handling there, to free their people because their safety was not guaranteed under those administrations. So because those guys said that the safety and well-being of Liberians were being threatened, so they went and overthrew Tolbert. So under those administration as well, they see an eye from artillery, and when the DIASPORA and the other people feel that their safety and their freedom and their well-being was being threatened again, they went out there and recruited themselves with a king and decided to remove those. So though fanatic are saying it is an act of treachery, but Chancellor fanatic are saying it was patriotic because we have come to liberate a certain group of people as well. So that's why they find that anything that erodes the rules of law can in no way be considered patriotic. And the act that happened, the act that Doe and the guys did by overthrowing in the Tolbert, eroded the law, eroded the rules of law. So it cannot be patriotic. Similarly, the act of Chancellor coming to invade, those government, overthrow Doe and also executed him, also eroded the rule of law. So it cannot also be
let me follow on that on the question. So he said, I think it is having Director Rose said that anything that erodes the rule of law is but Mom, if the rule of law is unjust, should you still obey that rule of law?
No, that's what I said. The most acceptable process, or the most acceptable exercise to undertake is the issue of civil disobedience. That is, the culture of nonviolence, protesting, standing up, for what is right. But if you think the only way to do it is by overthrowing the government, overthrowing the government is not the best way possible. And I'm basing my argument on the two terminologies, on the two issues about. The two issues about is whether the acts were patriotic or whether it was treasonable. So that's
so let me give you a line from Thoreau. Thoreau said, an unjust law is no law at all. Okay, so
but in the case when Thoreau said even if the laws are unjust, it is my right. It is my right to obey it or not to obey it. And you should be happy.
An unjust law is no law at all.
I agree. But listen, that's why you choose to obey or not obey. And the way not to obey is not by overthrowing the government. It's not by wanting to kill the person.
You are giving one approach. There are many ways to kill the cat. Good.
So if you kill a cat in a way that don't kill Tolbert or Tolbert die on the coup, in a way that Doe himself die on Chancellor coup or Chancellor President kill Doe. In that form and manner, that act, the very Constitution and very law describe it as treasonous. So for they were, you felt they did it because the law was a just law, I don't know which law. I don't know which law at the time that was unjust law, and that those felt that it was the only law that needed to be changed to liberate the Liberian people. I don't know which law that.
So let me give you an example of the unjust law. So, for example, asking people they have like taxation without representation. Okay, you're telling the people to pay tax there, but they are not represented in government. That's unjust law. If you ask poor person to have certain amount of properties before they can participate in government, that's unjust law. Those were some of the things they had in the government, in the constitution at the time.
Yeah. So with those things in the constitution that you are making reference to. So my point I'm making is your issue of debate or the topic should be as well. The two revolutions of those, the revolution of Taylor, whether they were in the interest of the Liberian people. But if you want to use the word treason, there's no way they can escape the other treason. That's the point I'm making. For the fact that they overthrew a certain government, because that's the definition of treason. Right. And, one of the reason you gave for the fact that you overthrew a certain government in sovereign state, that's treason. An attempt to overthrow a certain government or the president by execution, that's treason. Whether their action was treason, but at the same time in the issue of the Liberian people, that's another debate. But it cannot negate the fact that it's not treason. That's my point of argument. Because
what you just did when I read Article 1, right? I'll bring you on. But what you did when I read Article 1, the reason I mute because it's an echo from your end, so that's why I'm muting. So So I read Article 1. It has two different sentences. Because the first sentence it states maybe a few sentences, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it stated categorically the rights of the people who has the authority. So it says here clearly, all power is inherent in the people. Okay, so that power could be peaceful power or violent power. Okay, because it said all power is inherent in the people. All free governments are instituted by the authority and for their benefit, and they have the right to alter and reform the same when their safety and happiness is so required. So it says that to the people. So when then you go to the second one, and now they're talking about democracy and all of those things, So you took the part of the Gandhi's approach, for example, pacifism, when somebody hit you, or Jesus' approach, when somebody hit you and turn the other cheek. That's one approach, but it's not the only approach.
All right, thank you. So then if I'm to agree with the argument on the basis of Article 1 that talks about power inherent in the people, but they don't tell us how the people can exercise that power. You also have to agree with me that our party has to agree. The coup of Charles Taylor was also because there were people whose safety and was not also observed or was not protected. There were overnight killing. There were a lot of accusations in the government, and you know about you heard about the 11 enlisted men that were killed, and you heard about the Thomas and were coming on Kuwamba from Lima. You heard about that. So,
but they went to court though. They went to court. It was a court decision to pull down firing squad. So they went to court. They were tried.
Military court, yeah, okay, no problem. In fact, that was a kangaroo court they went to.
What you say?
That was a kangaroo court where at the time you are guilty. So the point I'm making is that everybody, both parties that that organized, planned, executed the revolution, they all believe that it was patriotic. That's why if you listen to our current Senator Prince White Johnson, when they were discussing the issue of the war crime code, because as far as concerned, he was a freedom fighter. You know what I'm saying? He considered himself as a freedom fighter. Because according to him, the freedom and safety of the Liberians and on the guild manner was not guaranteed, although. So whatever he did it for the people of Lima, he did it for a guild people, he did it for a Mano people. You get what I'm saying? Because under the administration, according to him, those people's safety and happiness was not also guaranteed.
Which
So
I don't agree with. I don't agree with that.
no, but you can have an opinion to that.
And here's why I don't agree, Christian. Here's why I don't agree.
Yeah.
Patrick, I will bring you on. And here's why. Those people in Nima County, they were not just sitting down and making a farm and going to their business and come and bring people and start killing them. Charles Taylor brought his rebels through Nima County, and they embraced him. They accepted him. They allowed Charles Taylor to use their land to wage war on a government. And again, like I told Patrick, which you also know, the oath of the president is to defend the country. You have a revolution coming in. You have a rebel leader coming waging war and using people from Nima, they enlisting and joining the guy to come and remove the president. What do you expect the president to do? To sing praises to them? No. So he was performing his constitutional responsibility as a president. That's your job, to defend the country. If you have invasion, right, you have to make sure that you stop that invasion. And that's what he did. So Prince Johnson and they misunderstood, because he actually joined Charles Taylor too to come and remove the president. Why did he get angry? Because Charles Taylor killed Tomo Kiwangba. What did Kiwangba do? He came with a revolution to remove the president, and the president defended himself. So I don't see what they're wrong. I don't see that as going after people. He was the president, and Kiwangba did not go through election. He decided to use war to overthrow the president, and the president got him in the process. So I don't see what the president did wrong. Maybe I'm not understanding wrong, and you guys can educate me. Go ahead.
So thank you. The process of Kuwangba do Prince Joseph, you and I can debate it from now to the end of time. The Patrick is here with me in Liberia. He's aware that there's a portion of the Liberian community, or the Liberian population, that believe that the revolution of Prince Johnson and Taylor was patriotic, because they came to revenge for them. They came to save them from the hands of Doe. And there are people who also believe that Doe did nothing, like you and Patrick. There are people who believe that whatever Doe did was.
No, I didn't say Doe did nothing, but go ahead.
I don't believe that whatever Doe did was right, and I don't want to believe that Kuwangba brought coup, the coup failed, Kuwangba was executed. There were a lot more people that followed on the basis of rumor. People kind of do, Mr. President, you're sitting here, Patrick and Daga playing cool. They are very in Canada now. On your way, you read to Ralph Yahweh, you military convoy be waiting for you there, and grab them from there and execute. So there were a lot of things too that were going on during the administration. There were a lot of people that were being killed overnight, and all those people got, because our Liberian community now is our political system is by identity. They will have the identity politics. What do I mean? Right now, like Prince Johnson and Jeremiah Kung, the vice president, the whole of Nima County, if not 100%, but 80-85%, see the two of them as their identity. So even if Jeremiah who is to do anything now or bring anything now, if you decide to tell them, they don't want to know what happened, what these people do. As far as they're concerned, they are from Nima, they are their sons, they are their children, and of course they must support it. That's the kind of negative negative perception we have in the country. President Power is a Sapo man from Joasson, so everything he does is fine in the eyes of the Sapo people. They don't care to investigate to know whether it's wrong or it's right, but he's that identity that he's carrying, and at all times they should always defend him, they should support him. So no matter the style of the coin, the fact remains, the two of them don't overthrow a sitting government. Charles Taylor overthrew a sitting government so that arbitration. Yes, whether it was patriotic because the safety of the Liberian people was not guaranteed on October, because they were not given the right for equal representation or for political participation on decisions that will affect them, and all of the decisions were being centralized to that. But even after all of the coups, after all of the people who fought, who called us, freedom fighter, who brought a revolution, we still face the same problem today. We still face the same problem today. Decisions are being made in Monrovia that affect people in Vubadi without their participation. Decisions are being made in Monrovia that affect people in Bokondre without their participation. Decisions are being made, so the whole thing of decentralization, right now we are still talking local government act. The local government act has not even been fully implemented. Why the few steps being taken by the new administration to make sure to get the local government act rolling. So as all the things that were fought for 20, 25 years ago, 30 years ago are still happening. So no matter what you do, it is the people, the single power inherent in the people, and that power that is inherent in the people is not only there to agitate the government if things are going wrong, but it's also there to checkmate government, to know the kind of government to, the kind of government that will drive the agenda of the country, with unity, with reconciliation, with development, that's the kind of power they also have, but that they are not exercising. Because every day, electionary period, we make mistakes, we put the wrong people for the wrong reason, and at the end of the day, we think that the revolution that do executed 1980 will come back and save us, or the revolution that Chancellor carry on will come and save us. We have that power, and we can still make that change. Are we making efforts? Yeah. Is our efforts sufficient enough? No. So we need to double our effort in making ourselves exercising the power that the Constitution gave us to make sure we have a better Liberia. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Paul. Let me bring Patrick. Patrick, before I bring you in, it's amazing. Taylor Revolution, they call it National Patriotic Front of Liberia. So for Taylor, it was Patriotic. The same thing, Prince Johnson, Independent National Patriotic Front of Liberia. Though movement was called People Redemption Council. So other than they claiming patriotism, in other words, but I mean, Trouble, you said something that the people in Vubadi, for example, or the people in the rural areas, people in Monrovia, they make decisions that affect them, and they are not involved. And I disagree with that. The people are involved because the people that are making the decisions were elected by those people. So it is their decision. So they send a representative to the Capitol building or to the executive mansion to make the decision for them. So the people are not excluded. They are included because they elected the representative to make decisions for them. All right. Yeah, let me see what you got to say there. I'll bring Patrick back on. Be brief, please.
So you are right. But here is it. You are right. Here is it. Recently, we're discussing, I think, 100,000 more, 100 more thousand plus United States dollars to be given for legislative projects in each of the constituencies. And when I look across Liberia of the 73 representatives, only one lawmaker I remember going back to his people that elected him to ask them, what do we do? And that was Jeremiah Sokan of Grand Jada District No. 1. He went back to have consolidated meetings with the people. When you do that, because the people, the 30,000, they all will not come to Capitol building and to argue or to debate issues. You the eye, you the ear, you the mind, you the everything. But some critical decisions, sometimes you go back to the people to get a view of the people. But our elected official was, they have elected me. I'm their leader. I'm represented. So any decision I make is final, and that's the right decision. And the middle kind of decision. So then our failure, that power the Constitution gave. But by replacing them with things with different than them, is why giving a problem. Because you send dark, the other says here, dark field, that thing, for example, or you send trouble there, trouble field, other says here. And then you go ahead and read letter Bible. But you expect to have a change. That's the point I'm making.
All right, okay, fair enough. But Pablo, I mean, I live in the US, I've been here for years, and I don't know when the last time a lawmaker came to me to solicit my view. They don't do that either here. So to say that, oh, the lawmaker don't go back to the people and to solicit their view. I mean, it's not only Liberia alone over here. I mean, the guys don't do that. I don't know the last time a lawmaker came to me and said, oh, Doc, I want your view on this bill that I want. No, they don't ask you those things. So, but Patrick, you have been silent for a minute. Let's wrap up on this. Let's get Patrick on, please.
I agree with. So I agree with you, Dak. I mean, sometimes in this country, we think the way things are not supposed to be. Lawmakers will go to Congress or Parliament, legislature. Issues come on the floor, then you say, no, I gotta go back to my people. What do you want? And this is and we do this as a form of another form of political manipulation. So they say, yeah, the mayor is doing the right thing. The mayor is doing the right thing. No. The idea of representation from Athens, all right? The people used to be in one place. They said, no. The larger the crowd becomes, we can't be contained in one place anymore. So now this time around, we take one person now to go and just go there, do the things to do, and come back and report to us. So what is required of lawmakers is to go and report, not to go and seek view. The other point is that on the issue of the Johnson, Taylor, and stuff like that, I think we have crossed that path now. Okay, the whole arrangement, it costs us too much in this country. 1980 coup cost us too much in this country. 1989 invasion also cost us too much in this country. 2003 invasion again cost us too much again, and the whole country now. The three events. I mean, one after the other, join together to make the country the way to make the country the way it is right now. The country, whether it will be repaired, whether it will come back on the trajectory of progress, I mean, truth and honesty, whether corruption will ever go away from this country. Right now, it is God knows when. Okay? And the other thing I want to say again is that leaders will continue to be manipulated in this country because this particular country, or it's called democracy is not about making. Okay, Socrates predated centuries ago that democracy will fail, and of course, democracy is failing right now. Democracy is not for Liberia. We just took it here from America. We put it on our head like Pamela Iboke, as it say we do anything but it. Liberians now, we have to be different now. Like, I agree with Councillor Kana yesterday, Councillor Bwaka Kana yesterday on the radio, okay, on the National Policy Review Program. I've been writing on Facebook before and said we need a new Liberia. And this new Liberia will entail us even teaching the name Liberia, teaching our name, from something like Liberia to another name, change the capital of Monrovia from an American president name to another name, go back to SINOE there, change Greenville from an American judge's name to a name, and just change everything. Now he agreed. Now the council also agrees with my view and the views of many other people that our constitution needs to be rewritten. Okay, we need a new constitution. And now I must say I feel pleased in my heart because with the current Liberia, with the current constitution, with the current system, Liberia goes nowhere, and we make no progress because we are caged in a vicious cycle, and this cycle looks like a hanging pendulum. It swings from one end to the other. When you bring one leaders in power, they do the same. They do worse than the people you even change. When you bring the other group in, they are worse than the other people. Oh my God!
Your power is back, huh?
It's back. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I took on my share where I call it heat. So the courage that came on me like that. Yeah. So sorry for that. Yeah. So it's just worse. You change one group, it worse than you ever imagine, and the other group does the same thing, and in the way it keeps going like that. So Dak, thank you, brother. I'll close my thought on this one. I mean, it's been a wonderful show. I mean, everything today we discussed was fine, fantastic, very informative, accelerating, and electrifying. And I hope we can keep having a conversation. But one thing I want us to do right now to start a rating, no more should we go for an eye, should we take an eye for an eye. And no more should we base our actions on the past. Like why the past government does that. It did it. They say no more, it did it, so we're doing it. Now the other government has come to power too now. It is doing the same thing. Or and they did it, so we're doing it, and we made it there, so we're keeping it there. No, I think we should no longer go for an eye, and basically base our actions on what others did in the past or what others are doing. Thank you, brother. It's been a wonderful show.
All right, Patrick, thank you. But what you just said, right? First of all, let's get one thing straight. The thing is, Liberia, the war Liberia, is a trick the guys play on us, and we are not paying attention. You see, when you spell the word, it's Libera. They played a trick instead of saying Lie, which is a lie, right? Because the country is based on lie. So it's a Liberia. Yeah.
The guy, oh, my people. Larry.
So the people are lying. The country is Liberia.
So you L-I-E-R-I-A. How will you pronounce it?
What happened?
How will you pronounce it if you say L-I-E-R-I-A?
Yeah, so when you say L-I-E, then you put a B there, you say R-I-A. So it's Liberia, Yeah, so it's Liberia. So they got so that what the people are lying, the country, they are not honest. The country is built on lie. And you also said, I mean, the concept of eye for an eye, I agree in certain instances it should not be applied. But you see, take for example Hitler. If you say, we don't use eye for an eye, that means Hitler who have still been in existence, right? If we don't use eye for an eye, Charles Taylor would have still been in Liberia suppressing the Liberian people, So in certain situations, you need an eye for an eye, you need an iron to cut iron, So it's not always the case that Christian philosophy, Jesus, tell your chief when a man slap you. Sometimes you have to stand up to that person who's slapping you and say, you know what, you can also feel pain, not I alone or not me alone. All right, so but Patrick, it's a wonderful show, like you rightly said. I enjoyed the conversation. And let's come back again next Thursday to have a wonderful show. If you want to leave, fine. I will just kind of recognize the viewers and kind of read some of the comments that I didn't read. And then I will call you a day. If you want to stay on, that's also fine.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So we have here Mr. Boto City say, why Major General Thomas Wesson was killed? What was the proof for killing Wesson? Can you answer that question, Patrick? Do you have knowledge?
Yeah. I think it was a Wesson's death was a miscalculation. It was manipulated. It was not. And they could not have killed his own brother. And they're looking from whence they came, and how they did things together. So again, it was a plot. The whole thing, the whole PRC regime was a plot established, with led by manipulations, and people were just around in the back, behind the scene, and they was telling somebody, say, do they want here? The person want to kill you. Hey, Wesson was coming from somewhere. I understand you were coming from, from Grand Bazaar, from watching the football game, and being a friendly person, a humble person. People saw him coming, jubilating and waving to him. Oh, welcome, General, welcome back. Oh, somebody then call. Oh, Mr. President, I'm from Grand Bazaar. If I hold a meeting, they say come and kill you. Okay, I go and get him. So all those things that I think they were all miscalculations, and they were all ploy to manipulate. Yeah.
Okay, Christian, you want to take a stab at this question? Why was Thomas Wesson killed? Do you know, or what was those proof that? What was those proof for doing that?
I think Patrick can better answer that question because
And he's dead, so he can't answer the question.
he says those revolution was patriotic. So I don't know what did those kill Wesson, Patrick.
So let me repeat again. I said those. The death of Wesson was a miscalculation. All right, it was a miscalculation. It was based on manipulation. All right, it was misinformed. All right, the same thing we've been saying here. All right, you hurt me, and then you bring me your circle. You bring me your circle to advise you. All right, if you didn't hurt me. You hurt me, you bust my eye, and you say, okay, Patrick, I think busting your eyeball can't be my advisor. So can't tell the question, but a lot of people about 2019 there. So I think that what happened. But they could not have killed to a extent, and if he wasn't manipulated.
Okay, but and Christian, I hold a view that those revolutions were also patriotic, and the reason I hold that view is if you have one set of people leading the majority for 133 years, that calls for a revolution. If you make the majority into slaves and you are selling them to other countries, as the Chad D.B. King administration was declared guilty for slavery, that requires a revolution. So I thought those revolution was patriotic.
So thank you. But so before I make follow comment, can I ask you a question on that?
Yes, sir.
Do you also agree with Patrick when he said, democracy is not good for Liberia and we just took it from America?
If you ask me, we need benevolent dictatorship in Liberia.
Okay, good. You need benevolent dictatorship. But is there any dictatorship that is benevolent?
Yes, I mean, like Singapore, for example, Lee Kuan Yew was a benevolent dictator. So you see, Singapore is one of the best countries in the world.
Okay, so thank you. I'm not going to keep querying you. Let me get me my point. The reason I asked whether you agree with Patrick, because according to you and Patrick's reason for which you consider those revolution to be patriotic, because there was not a multi-party system. There were few people participating in the political leadership of the country. Majority of the people were not taking part in the decision-making processes. The issue of taxation, people paying taxes, but the voices are not being, they don't make decisions when it comes to the taxes that pay and how the taxes are used. Those were things that were happening that, those felt that, they were not good, according to, the two of you who have a domain there. So why now when you say thing that you fought for, for which you overthrow a city government patriotically, now you're telling me that it's not good for Liberia. So why did you fight for it? Because after the revolution of Doe, after Doe took over, now we have Patrick was laying a basis. Now we have multi-party system in Liberia, and people are in fact almost every Liberian is taking part in the decision making, because every constituency is being represented by a representative who represented them, who's going to be going for. And the reason I talk about consultation with the people that you say you don't do in America, mine was just clear and simple. In America, 99.9% of your lawmakers that win there, they win on platform and agenda. They give you the platform, they give you the agenda. That when you vote for me, this I will do X, Y, Z. And so when they are elected, it is those things that you're going to hold them back. 95% of our lawmakers in Liberia, they don't have platform. They don't have agenda. They just spend money.
But Romeo Kuya agenda. Let Romeo Kuya's agenda right here.
The one said 95%. This is all of them.
I just messing with you. Go ahead.
So if you have an agenda, you have a platform, it is the platform the people will be questioning about. But we'll have a society that the last time I checked, on the when UNICEF came up with the report of 2024, I think Liberia says 48% literacy rate. I mean, you got a lot of illiterate people in Liberia, you got a lot of educated people in Liberia. So our society, is not as compared to the American society, where everybody, even the child that is born today, knows the right and knows the responsibility of a leader.
Question: what is your fellow citizen, Sonny Boy Noah's agenda?
Remember on your platform in America, I think he did not lie to you, he did not lie to us. He was very clear. He was humble enough to tell that he never had a platform.
Right.
So the day he wastes on anything that comes to his mind, that's what he would do. And that's why we talk about having an agenda for the district. Because if you have an agenda for the district, the constituency visit for which they even put money in the budget for them to go home and sit with the people. It's not just to go home for the people to see that our lawmaker has come to visit us, but it's to discuss key issues of development of the people as to what affected them. So that when you are a lawmaker, always visit the people there. When issues arise on the floor, you have no reason going back to them, because you already have in your mind what your people lacking, what your people want in a particular area with education, with job creation. So when anything comes before you, you are already informed. When you make those kind of decisions, it will reflect the aspiration of your people, because you are. But there are some laws because they will go one time a year in a 6 year. The only time you see them going every time 2 years to election when they want to get re-elected. So the fact that disconnect with you and the people, you will not really know what they are going on through on a daily basis. To sit down in Monrovia, a lot of them don't have the real functioning, home offices wherein you say, even though I'm in Monrovia, but I got my staffers in my home office that are on the ground, that my ears on the ground, they are listening to all of the demands and the complaints, the problems of the people, and they are relating it to me. And so I'm informed of my district, but a lot of them don't have a functioning home offices. So it's different. There's a disconnect between the other people. So when critical issues around, I'm not talking about
let's just go through the viewer comment and call it a day. We've been here for a while now. So Mr. William Jawi says, since Doe killed Wesson and was observed to be based on miscalculation, did Doe acknowledge this and apologize to Sapo people? When he did not, why he did not? I wish somebody or representative of Doe here to defend him, but I don't know who is the apologist on that. Huh?
The two of you.
When it comes to the overthrow of Tolbert, I'm with him on that, but I'm not with him on killing his brother. So I don't know the details of that case, so I can't speak to it. Let me see. Somebody was correcting me. He said Doe was 27 years. He was not 22. Okay, I appreciate that correction, that Jackson. And Dixon said, my brother, these are some of the reasons why the true sons of SINOE County don't want to come home. They don't want for other people to contest against them because of the wicked ways. They are going against people because they want for SINOE County to always remain in the dark. Romeo and son-in-law are into this whole saga. They know what is going on in this county. Romeo and son-in-law, 2-0, haha. If you can't see, then you can't feel. Wicked people. We are coming against you 2029. Okay. So 2029, if you want to remove those guys, that's the right thing to do. My father changed his name from CEO to clerk. That was the rule of the Americo-Liberians. That's what the president is accentuating here, Patrick. Who say, under that rule, the country was the best. The president of the Sabo people in the USA, her father got to change her name from CEO to clerk before he can be recognized as a human being. And that's what Malcolm X will ask, what is your last name? You say, I don't know my last name. So the X is for the unknown, Yes. The same Dixon said, I'm following you from Greenville, SINOE County, brother. I see this whole thing to be politics. The same people that Mr. Emmett Blayee helped during the election 2023 are the same people going against him, bad people. But they will see us 2029. Brother, the wicked people are afraid of Emmett Blayee comes 2029. Haha, they think we don't know what is going on here. Okay, so this guy is an apologist of Blayee, and hopefully you will kind of replace those guys. I'm following from Greenville, SINOE County. Okay, so we don't have a question here. So let's have a closing comments on Pablo. Go ahead. Pablo, are you there? You're apparently frozen. All right, guys. Patrick, you want to close, or you close already?
Okay, so thank you, Doc. Doc, it's been wonderful, actually. Yeah, we got very good time here, and we hope to be back next Thursday again with another fascinating topic. And I want to say, Kristen, it was good interacting with you too, and to all our viewers and our listeners, and those who follow us today. Thank you. All right, we don't have answer to all the issues, all the questions, but at least we try as much we can to give you some insight on some of the things we know and we have read about. Yes, Liberia needs a new paradigm shift. Yes, and the only way is to change the system, change the constitution, change the name, change the form of government, the system of government, change from the unitary system that caters the whole nation.
But what changing the system and changing the name? and you have the same people in place, how does it help to change the situation?
Okay, so for example, when you change the system of government, all right, the system of government or the system of the country from the unitary state thing, to another system that gives power to the people, because what we can do there, esoteric, one of the best things that our country has done for us so far is to what? Is to stock the population into one area, because all the benefits, all the good things in the country, all the livelihood you can find in the country, all the social services in the country, even enjoy life in Liberia, the best place you can ever come to enjoy life, for example, will be in Monrovia or Montserrat County. So as a result, the whole population is stuck in Montserrat, leaving the other counties depopulated. So a system that will send the population back, I will carry development back to the people, and improve home, so that the people can go back and live in their place. That's what I mean. But anyway, thank you. I don't want to go deep again, so that we can take more time again. But it's good to be here again.
Okay, boss.
Love you guys.
Thank you. All right, thank you. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is how we're bringing the curtain down. I just want to recognize you and calling your day. My daughter, Eva. Oh, Christian is back. Let me minute man to close. Christian, let us have your closing comment. Christian, you want to close for us, and then we can call it a day.
Okay, thank you. So, thank you. Today was a fascinating day. We have a lot of, but I would want to recommend that, this is a platform that we call Voice of SINOE in the Diaspora. So I would want to recommend on the show that at least 60 or 600% of our topics should be issues that concern SINOE, SINOE activities, SINOE development. We can bring in some national current issues on the floor, but let us discuss our country, because the platform for our country, and there are a lot of SINOE people there in the following the.
All right, your device. Okay, all right, we'll see. You see. Yeah, he frozen there again. The internet is glitching out on his side. Yeah, but let's see. I think that's what we'll begin with. SINOE County. We'll talk about Emmett Blayee, for example. The father card, Voice of America, for example. It doesn't mean you always destroy American things, but I hear what he's saying. So guys, we want to say thank you for following again. I want to just recognize you, those that following the show. Ebony, how you doing, my daughter? Welcome aboard. Thanks for following. Mr. William Jawi, thanks for following the show. Madam Emilia Tijana, thanks for following. The First Lady of Voice of SINOE in the Diaspora, Bolo Freeman, how you doing? Thanks for following, baby. I appreciate your presence on the show. The guy is back again. Oh man, your internet is glitching out. Just climb out, my man.
Okay, so thank you. Let's call it a day. We'll be here the whole while. We hope to come back Thursday with all of fascinating topics. And thanks to those following us. Thanks to those watching both home and abroad. And let's keep it together. We hope to have all of people on the show by next Thursday. We'll also talk to all of people to come and contribute. Let's discuss SINOE. Let's discuss Liberia. So thank you.
All right. Next on the 26th, we're having this lady as our special guest, as Paulia Crash. She's a nurse practitioner here. She'll be going to some health topics. So on the 26th of this month, she will be our special guest. All right. So, Christian, have a good day, man. Your device is glitching out right now. All right, so guys, I want to recognize Winston Tophead, Owen, how you doing? Blatty, Goodrich, Chenye. Okay, Mountain, how you doing? Zanwanja, welcome. Thanks for following. Mr. Boto City, T. Ojuku Nyimpan, thanks for following the show. We got Jackson Williams, thanks for following the show. Austin Sampson, thanks for following the show. I've seen one Dagbe here, thanks for following the show. I've seen Dickinson, thanks for following the show. Madam Francis Clare Miles, Mr. Milton Shigbe, thanks for following the show. Michael, thanks for following the show. Man, I can see Faya. How you doing? Thanks for following the show. Oliver, Sonny Ball, thanks for following the show. Sarah Ellis, wish you would have returned. Who here again? Mola Panto, how you doing, boss? Thanks for following the show. Jake Tote, thanks for following Isaiah Manning. Thomas, thanks for following the show. Mr. Andrew Seward, thanks for following the show. Chia, thanks for following the show. Garrison Doe, thanks for following the show. Aki Due, thanks for following the show. Clubber, thanks for following the show. Vera Johnson, thanks for following us. Mr. Richard Panto, Professor, how you doing? Thanks for following the show. I have here now, thanks for following the show. Cherry Doe, thanks for following. Kamayi, thanks for following the show. That's Otelo Tote. Thanks for following the show. Who's calling here? We up for the day. I will call you back. Whoever is they're calling me. Manja Smith, thanks for following the show. Maya Cesar, thanks for following the show. Chris Jabla, thanks for following the show. Otis Cannon, thanks for following the show. That's Toba, Yanapo Toba, thanks for following the show. Manin Morris, thanks for following the show. Marie Pine, thanks for following us. CF Freeman, thanks for following the show. Melvin Blayee, thanks for following the show. Ambassador John Nelson, thanks for following the show. We want to also appreciate who here. Bendora Amandabu, thanks for following the show. Stephen Cheers, thanks for following. We have here Clement Malu, thanks for following the show. We have Lord Toba, thanks for following the show. And we have here Mamadi Sako, thanks for following the show. Who here again? I think those are the people I see. Alpha Cow, Melvin Dewar, and the rest of you. If I don't call your name, it means I'm not sure. If I want to say thank you so much for following Voice of SINOE. SINOE Content Premier Platform will be here next week, Thursday again, to do it again. If you have any issue that you want us to discuss, don't hesitate to inbox us. If you want to be our guest, send a request, and we will definitely bring you on. We don't want you to just listen to it. We also want to hear from you. So if you want to be our guest, inbox me, and I will plan it and bring you on. But I want to say thank you so much for following our audience.
I'm feeling the vibes with originalhits.com.
Download your favorite song at originalhits.com.
Our people say the thing like a game will stop on your toes. When the season will be good, that on the eve will know.